With all that in mind, I actually quite it.
Wow! Wow!
Where's the confetti? Oh, like the
confetti!
Take his penis away.
We're going to be getting right into it pretty much straight away. So if you've not played through the story of Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat 1 if you're a normie, then please do so, because we're going to get right into this without even really thinking about it, and that's on us. So
spoilers! Spoilers for everything!
Also, a little thing you should keep in mind is try to finish the story before you do the arcade endings.
Even invasion mode actually kind of spoils it too.
Exactly.
So just do story mode before that even.
Nice jacket, Snake.
Did you unlock that playing invasion mode? Did you unlock that outfit playing invasion?
I did unlock a few costumes. I got the seasonal Katana and Tanya.
I got same. Well, I basically played all the way to Fang Jing's village basically. So
yeah, I'm up to the current.
I'm assuming we're about the same, yeah.
I also spent the white coins on the Mileena costume.
The seasonal coins, right?
Yeah, the crazy one that she has, where it looks almost like the evil villain costume, but not quite.
Those seasonal skins, like, they look cool, except one issue. I don't want that red. I want a different palette color, but they're just all red. So I'm just
I can almost guarantee you'll unlock a palette for it. There's got to be more than one.
I think maybe each season it's just going to be a different palette of those skins, maybe. Or do you think it's actually just going to be that skin?
Well, because everyone else gets a bunch of palettes, so it'd be kind of weird if, like, that outfit only had the one palette, but it's possible. It's still a great outfit, though, and I wish I could prove that somehow they copied me, but I know they didn't, because I had the idea of Mileena being a belly dancer. I did art for that, like, years ago, where I drew her as, like, an actual belly dancer, and that's what that outfit is. She has, like, little like, coins around her belt and everything that jingle when she moves. Like, it's straight up a belly dancer, but
yeah.
Have you guys got any of the special ones from the store or anything? Because I got the Tanya.
The
Brazil
store? I didn't buy that yet, because you had to buy that, right?
Yeah, I got that because I got a bunch of Dragon Crystals with the collector's edition, so I got that.
I'm saving up my Dragon Crystals for whatever I want more. Yeah.
I got Sub-Zero, or as some people call him, Bi-Huan.
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 And
did you not go for Evil Sindel?
Yes, of course.
You did go for Evil Sindel. Yeah, because I was thinking you might like that one.
It was necessary for the video I just put out on Patreon.
Okay, yeah.
Plus, it just looks. Plus, it just looks good. I mean, Sindel with white eyes just looks good.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if you noticed, Sonic, but when you buy the store bundle, if it's called bundle, you get a bunch of palettes too. It's not just
I saw that.
A bunch of colors, which is super cool.
Sometimes as well.
Yeah,
exactly,
and Mileena had a lot. I mean, sorry, Sindel had a lot of good ones. The game really does throw skins at you, and it's super generous about that.
That's good.
At MK Warehouse, there are some that they're not on the site yet, but the guy who runs it, he has been going through the files, and he's found some interesting costumes in there.
I did see those. I did see some of those, not all of them, because there's so many.
Yeah.
There is one that I saw that Kronika kept requesting, like, throughout the podcast. Just give us this one. How can they not give us this? Give us this one. And they actually are putting it in the game. I don't know if it's exactly like it though.
Are you referring to? I saw it when I rewatched the story mode ending again, just to see if it changes the enemies you fight. And one of the characters in the background though is Natara with the spiked bikini. Are you referring to that? Like,
I wasn't referring to that, but yes, they got the spiked bra. So happy to see that.
I can't wait to discuss that sequence, that section.
Yeah, me too. We're excited to talk about that. I'm actually talking about a Deadly Alliance skin that you really wanted.
Oh, the Shang Tsung one. Oh, sick.
Oh, I was talking about Deadly Alliance Scorpion.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's also good. Yeah, the side boob. Let's go, Scorpion.
I don't know if it looks
boob.
exactly like that, but it's literally also his head is on fire. So.
Oh wow, that's gonna be safe for a combat league or some crap. You just
well, the thing about that is, will that be a mask on top of it, or will that be what the mask is?
Don't know, because
imagine they have that on every costume. That would be pretty good.
Oh, like a fire head for every oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
Oh, that'd be pretty sick. Yeah. I mean, I've done Mileena's fatality on everybody because I'm not sure if you get more XP for doing fatalities during invasion or not, but I've been doing it, and I noticed some funny. Huh?
Oh, I'll keep that in mind.
Well, I think you might actually get more for brutalities.
I should start doing those because those are faster anyway.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, too. True.
But I did notice that there's both good detail and like lack of detail with Mileena's brain eat fatality, where if she kills somebody like Reptile, for the first bite, his hood is still mostly there. She just like hollows out the top of the hood, so that's like really good detail. But for Shao Kahn, his giant horns just instantly disappear when she bites into the top of his head.
Nice.
Which I found funny. Yeah.
We're all recording right now anyways, right?
Yeah. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I think, honestly, there's too much to chat about for MK1, so we can just go wherever we want, in my opinion. Like, just whatever we can think of, what do we want to talk about. I'm very curious, because we will probably get in depth with the story mode later on, but I am kind of curious what we all got like spoiled about, because during the week before it came out, some people had the game and they were just spoiling stuff, and you know, fans of our channel, we love you guys, spoiled things to us once in a while, which was kind of annoying. But yeah, I know Snake probably got spoiled, like something the biggest, but Dog, did you actually get spoiled by anything when the
I did not. I did a really good job being like safe and practicing safe search, you know. Always wore a VPN when I went online, you know. No
so smart.
Browser transmitted leaks, spoilers. So yeah, I was very content. I didn't get spoiled on pretty much anything. Or if I did, my brain somehow forgot it. Which, good job, brain, if that's the case. But
good job. Okay. So I once in a while like checked on Twitter, and eventually I was like, okay, I need to like, I really like for a week actually try my best just not to look at Twitter because of just how many people would be like, oh, the Mileena skin, oh, the Katana skin, and stuff like that. And I think there were a couple of just like screenshots of just like nothingness, or it doesn't really matter what I saw. It didn't really feel like I was getting spoiled or anything like that. Someone had a YouTube video that literally lined up like the final like fighters on the pyramid, but I just saw like just a row of characters, and I was just like, okay, it must be a final fight of something. Who knows what that is? Funny enough, though, I think the biggest spoiler. Oh wait, the biggest spoiler we got was actually on our Combat Cast, like Combat Kings. How did I get messed out about the Combat Kings like comment section? Because there were two things that happened in there. The first thing was someone said this literally should have just been called Mortal Kombat 12. Like it actually should have been called Mortal Kombat 12, and I'm like, that sounds like a bit of a spoiler if you think of the context of story mode. And the other thing that the person said was, because in that episode we were discussing about Kronika, and someone was straight up was just like, Kronika is not the 24th character. Just straight up said that, and that kind of just made me go like,
For clarity, there is no 24th character, right?
There still isn't, yeah.
There actually literally isn't even the 23rd character, technically speaking, because Shang Tsung is a pre-order DLC.
Yeah.
So it actually is technically 22 characters actually in this roster.
I didn't try doing it, but on the PC version that I got, because it was technically a review copy that I was messing around with, but I didn't use it for any of my videos. I could play Shang Tsung. Like, he was not locked. He was just right there. So
yeah,
maybe they
if you pre-order the game. Wait, didn't you? Isn't that like a sort of a pre-order?
On PS5, he's not unlocked for some reason, which is weird because my PS5 is shared with my Steam account. So I keep all my stuff. Like, whatever I unlocked on PC goes to my PS5, so that's kind of cool.
Really?
It's shared.
Huh.
Yeah. But I don't have Shang Tsung. He's actually locked on my PS5 version. Is he unlocked for you, Chads?
We have him. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
I got the code for it and everything with my big box.
I just straight up turned on the game and he was there already. The only character that was not unlocked was Havoc. So I already had Shang Tsung there.
I want to learn Havoc next, I think.
It's so weird that Havoc is like, see, MK9, Quan Chi, you have to unlock him by finishing the story. He's got a big role in the story. He's also kind of the outlier as the one who wasn't in the original trilogy. Fine.
Yeah.
MKX, Shinnok, final boss. Fine.
Yeah.
Injustice 2, Brainiac, final boss. Fine. I forget if Injustice 1 had anyone yet to unlock.
Not sure.
MK11, Frost. Weird, but you only have to do 4 chapters to get her. Which is the point where she's introduced, so, you know, it's fine. Although that was mainly just there so people would have to just try and trick people into buying the character for a $5, which is still scummy. And then this game comes along, and it's like, it's Havoc, who is barely in the story, has very little presence within it, and then he's the one you unlock by finishing the entire thing. Like,
he's your ultimate reward.
I feel like if you're going to have something be unlockable, it would have made more sense to be like a special cameo or something.
Yeah.
Like Quan Chi is a cameo. There you go. That'd be a cool unlockable.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
That would make a lot more sense because like he plays like a really pivotal role, and not only that, he is the arcade ending cameo fighter too that you have to go through.
Yeah.
Like the final boss there. So he literally should have. Yeah, he seems to have been like a really big deal.
As for what I got spoiled on,
I'll say one last thing because there's one more spoiler that I got, and also really screw this guy. But like in my Discord server, someone just straight up in my chat just says like, "Oh, Sindel dies," and it's like people are just like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" It's a joke. It's a joke. Haha. It's just a joke, guys. It's just a joke. And I literally spawned that guy. Be like, "Well, it's not funny." And thank goodness I actually completely blocked that memory out. So when Sindel actually died, I was like, "Oh."
Yep.
And then it was like afterwards, I was like, "Oh, that piece of shit." I completely forgot about that, but so thank goodness. But yeah, so I had a pretty good experience. I really didn't remember anything that if there were spoilers or not, but I apparently did get spoiled stuff that I just completely forgot about. All right, now for our biggest victim, the Force Snake. How was your experience with spoilers?
well, it was fine at first, but then about 5 days before the game came out, I had this tweet where I was like from like. But we knew about half the roster. I was like, here's the characters I think are going to get chapters. So it's basically like, it was pretty much, if they've had a chapter, they're probably going to get one again. If they've not, they probably won't. And I ended up being mostly right, to be fair.
You were pretty close, yeah.
But just out of nowhere, months after that, people just come out and say Mileena gets a chapter.
Oh, come on. That would have been...
Like three of them did this in the span of like half an hour. So it must have been some kind of ridiculous concerted effort, because it can't be a random coincidence.
It's what you call it.
And like I know that this character gets a chapter isn't a huge spoiler, but it does inherently affect the way you view the character.
Yeah.
Because for one, it means that nothing bad can happen to her before she becomes playable.
Fair enough, yeah.
And on top of that, with these being what they are, the NetherRealm stories, where we very rarely play as villains, it inherently implies what her role is going to be, that she will be mostly a good guy.
Yeah.
Or be acting in some kind of neutral manner. So it does put ideas in your head that you can be thinking about the whole time.
Oh.
So it is ultimately a spoiler.
Yeah, that really sucks. Because that's actually one thing that every time when he got to play a character who has literally been eating shit for the past like 10 years in every NRS game, I was just like, Baraka? Like I was like genuinely shocked when I got
that
to that
was
moment.
the big shot. Like Baraka, the ultimate jobber who jobs out in all 4 prior story modes. He gets to win some fights.
MK versus DC, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll get super into the story when I was
actually,
to get through.
You reminded me of one thing that I almost got spoiled on, but my brain dumped it.
Nice.
Similar to you forgetting that Sindel got a chapter or Sindel dies. So I did see one thumbnail. When people who do this, you're a menace. You're an absolute scallywag. They posted just the Mortal Kombat 1 ending, and then they just have a screenshot that kind of could spoil it. But luckily, it was the most innocent. But I didn't think that at the time. I thought it actually gave something away. All the thumbnail showed was Quan Chi and Shang Tsung walking shoulder to shoulder, and they had really nice drip. Like, they had really awesome outfits on. And I was like, no, don't tell me the villains somehow win and become like gods at the end, and they're all decked out, and Liu Kang fucked up, he dropped the ball. That's what I was worried for a split second. But then I just said, forget it. And I did forget it.
That is still a spoiler, though, because if you recognize the outfit Shang Tsung is wearing from Aftermath, then it's a spoiler.
Exactly.
I think the good news is all I saw was Quan Chi. My eyes went straight to Quan Chi in like his different outfit, and I was like,
Yeah. But yeah, before we get super deep diving into like story mode stuff, by the way, I think I should just say this out loud. Like, if we really wanted to, I bet we could go like for hours and on hours talking about everything. So I think we're just gonna like
only if we stream would we ever do that, Sonic. Like, we could do a 5-hour stream, but I'm not just gonna make you edit a 5-hour long podcast.
You want to do it like the Realmcast? Go live stream for 8 hours.
You get a lot of donations.
Something like that. I bet they're gonna do it again too. I bet they're gonna do it. Wait, I just realized they did that. They did an 8-hour stream with the first trailer only. Imagine with the content they have now. Yeah.
And I feel like we'd be good at it.
Has the episode started yet?
It started like 20 minutes ago. I thought I just asked if we were recording.
So something to put at the start of the video.
Okay.
We're going to be getting right into it pretty much straight away. So if you've not played through the story of Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat 1, if you're a normie, then please do so, because we're gonna get right into this without even really thinking about it, and that's on us. So
spoilers for everything.
Title the video "Mortal Kombat 1 spoilers suck" or something like that, just so people know what's coming.
That's not bad. That's actually not a bad title. I might just do that.
Yeah. Also, a little thing you should keep in mind is try to finish the story before you do the arcade endings, because they are canon. They continue from main story, and Dominic Chancholo said today that they are planning to continue those plot threads.
Great. I really wanted proof to know if they were canon or not. I'm happy now. I know that like they're basically canon. Yeah.
Even invasion mode actually kind of
yes,
exactly. So just do story mode before that even.
The very beginning of Invasion is just like, here's the ending of the story mode.
Invasion also does spoil one of the arcade endings. Like the story for Invasions does spoil one of them. So luckily for me, I'd already gotten that character's ending.
Okay, that is true.
I'd gotten the ending already, fortunately. So
that's interesting because they actually showed that Invasion's like beginning, you know, the Harumi marrying Kuai Liang thing, like in the beginning, like a couple weeks ago. So we all kind of already saw that part. So but then in the arcade mode, they continue that being like, okay, how did Scorpion?
I did not see it. I didn't watch that, fortunately. So
cool.
I got to see that in the ending. Although it is funny how in Scorpion's ending, Bihan's wearing Japanese clothes and has a katana. They keep doing this. Yeah. He's Chinese, not Japanese.
No. He's starting to go. He's gonna get into the Japanese culture. He's gonna start, you know, Japanese wife kind of situation, you know, whatnot.
I suppose so. Though that would be considered like, well, never mind. I was gonna say for the time, but they exist in modern time, so.
Yeah, you know, mixed race like marriage is is of course a thing.
Well, it's not even just that. I didn't mean to imply that. I meant like Bihan is such a traditional, old-fashioned guy that if he got married and like adopted the woman's culture, he'd be seen as like uber feminine. But I was like, oh, it's the modern age, so he can do whatever he wants, you know.
Okay.
He's like, I really like this kimono. I like how it feels. I like this katana a lot. It looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, also something cool to show you guys. I think you're gonna like this.
For a second, when he took his earphones off, I thought that those were like cat ears, like this. So it looked like, I was like, oh, taking them off, like cat ears. I was like, is that what he wanted to show us?
Cinnamon toast can. I saw he had the elbow pads on. Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
Police brutality coming up.
Goodness gracious!
Quick, hide Jax. Get him out of here.
Did you? He's not playable. He's not playable. It's Gearus that has to be careful now.
I did make the joke when I saw that twist ending and whatever, or like the mid-credits ending. I did say out loud, "Oh man, Jax fans lose twice. Once when he's not playable in the game, and then again when he gets killed unceremoniously
just brutally
for
murdered.
no reason." Yeah.
That's a cool drip, by the way, Snake. Cool stuff you got
looks
there.
Good.
I do hope, Sonic, that you actually don't mirror the footage this time, because otherwise it'll all say torse instead of SWAT.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
I was really worried actually that I wouldn't be able to get your reaction because, you know, with the whole camera not working stuff. I was thinking if I have to record my own footage separately and you guys can't see it, what would be the point of me hating this outfit? And you guys wouldn't know until Sonic's editing and Dog sees the preview and he'd be like, wow, that's crazy.
We'll have our pretend reactions. Wow, look at the Striker skin. Oh my god.
I'm really glad I didn't say anything earlier because I definitely saw Snake putting stuff on, but all I really noticed was like he had elbow pads on. I was like, did he get back from riding his bike or something? And then I saw him start to put the backpack on.
I did notice that.
And I almost jokingly said, he's trying to make a break for it. Stop him. He's trying to leave the podcast. He's put a backpack on. He's trying to run away. But I didn't say anything.
He's trying to escape.
Trying to get better about not
cool stuff. Cool stuff. Does that mean you are going to be still doing the poses? Dog got shot or shocked. I don't know.
I do love the handcuff ability
I'm not gonna
so
shoot
much
a dog.
in the game. It's so funny.
You're not gonna shoot a dog. That's right. That's only what shooting a dog would do.
Huh? Maru?
Took a while for him to react to that.
It's kind of funny how the one after like two or three games solid with loads of characters with guns, we come back to this one and like Striker is the one dude with a gun now.
Yeah,
as it should be.
Peacemaker probably.
aside from obviously, aside from some characters who show up with like in cutscene cameos in certain moments. That's all the guns we see. Even like Sony and Jax don't have guns anymore, which is
true. Yeah,
because I mean I think that was the case originally. Like Striker was the only one with a gun until I think Sector had a laser gun in MK Gold, which kind of counts. And then Jax had his machine gun in the 3D era.
Yeah.
That is still
But they
funny
took that away
like
too.
he goes, "Oh yeah," when he fires it, which is the funniest thing.
Which I'm pretty sure is still Ed Boon doing the voice for that.
Nice. Yes. Good.
So was it just Cassie and Jackie having guns in the new era? In the NRS era?
Well, Jax had a shotgun. Then there
Aaron
was
Black.
like most of the guests had
Aaron
them.
Black, true.
I legit made an image at one point, but it's gone now. But I put it on screen for one of my videos because it was my "This stuff should not return" to Mortal Kombat 12 back when we all still called it that. And one of the complaints I had was no more guns. And I even showed on screen the roster, and every character that had a gun as an attack of some kind was highlighted in green, and it's a good third of the roster. Like almost a third has a gun of some kind. Like it really does blow your mind. Yeah, because think about it. Joker has one. RoboCop has one. Spawn has one.
Oh, MK11.
Cassie has one. Yeah, MK11. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I think every guest in 11 had a gun.
Yeah.
Every...
Pretty
oh, wow,
much.
Rambo. That's right. Terminator.
RoboCop.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah,
actually...
everything
Yeah.
Then you have characters who kind of count like Fujin with his crossbow, which is kind of a gun.
I'm willing... That's cooler. I'm willing to take that as a not-gun.
It's a projectile spear.
But mechanically, it is functionally. It's just this is not quite hit scan like some of the other characters have.
Okay.
But then you see cutscenes and like you'll see Jax and Johnny with rifles and Sonya.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they do have that in the cutscene and stuff like that.
Jackie
So the point
technically
is-
has guns. Yeah. Like,
Yeah. The main point is, guys, guns aren't fun. Please don't put them in the games anymore.
Agreed. That's okay for
Guns
Stryker
are
because that's like
fun.
part of his identity. If you take away Stryker's
Yeah.
gun, he's just police baton man with taser.
He's got
and
baton, he's got taser, flashlight, grenades. He's got a ton of stuff.
Grenades. Okay, nice. It would also be super.
I meant this one. Sorry.
Spread 'em. Yeah. It
I
would
do,
be
I do like
super
how
fun.
Strikers
Epilepsy
like
warning.
I think it's his super move Striker. It's basically just the X-ray from MKX. It's like the same moves.
Yeah, it basically is. Straight up.
Which is great. It'd be pretty funny if they got rid of like Stryker's gun, but he still had the grenades. That'd be super funny because it would imply that guns are too far, but blowing you literally apart limb
Grenades
from limb,
are
okay.
funny enough. Grenades are cartoonish enough.
And you know what, Sonic? I can't think of where to shove this in, so I'll just say it now. I'm
Go
going to give you
for
one
it.
chance to take back something you said in your review of the Mortal Kombat 1 and your
Hang on,
ending
you watched
critique.
my Mortal Kombat 1 video?
Yeah, because you posted it like a dummy, before today, like one day before. So of
Yeah,
course I watched
Sonic.
it.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to get
So,
that.
everyone in the comments.
I just wanted to get that out as soon as possible.
Dog and I were good boys. We waited until this episode to talk about properly our thoughts on the story and whatnot.
To be fair, Dog posted his Mortal
Quite
Kombat
you.
1 story mode first. I'm doing the Shane Sung pose.
Sure, that's
I
only
love the little
part of it.
dainty, like, hey,
and then
hey.
Sonic's here. I'm going to talk about the ending before we recorded the episode.
You watched my video
This
too!
man.
You watched my video
This
too!
man.
At least it was a banger, but that's not what I wanted to apologize for.
Oh,
That's
thank you very
also a
much.
sin. What I want you to apologize for, you said
All
a
right,
very
here we go.
particular thing that I want you to try and
okay.
guess. It applies to me personally. You hurt my feelings with this comment. You were upset about a certain character getting their spotlight. Giving you one chance to apologize.
Certain character getting their spotlight? I don't
Yeah.
think I...
You
Okay,
said one character didn't deserve her big moment, didn't deserve
let
her
me
grandiose
make
chapter.
this very clear. I didn't mean... I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing Mileena has her own chapter, because I did get people in the... Is that what you're referring to?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. I don't mean necessarily it's a bad thing that Mileena has her own chapter. That's great. I'm just thinking like, okay, but why does she get to like fight everyone at that end chapter when there's like 9 characters around her? It's like, oh no, Dark Raiden's back. Oh, and Evil Sindel like 1v9s again. Who's gonna be the hero? Of course, Fire God Liu Kang or something. No, it's Mileena.
I do discuss that in the new Wasted Potential a bit actually.
I do find it
Again,
Like
I'm
some
not
weird-
saying I don't like Mileena having her own chapter. That's not what I mean by
understand.
that. Okay, just
I just
so
wanted
you
to
know.
create a funny segment. I just wanted to create
And
a
by
funny
the way,
little
I
segment.
did get a comment of someone being like, "What's that? You don't explain why you don't like Act 3. That you know what? You're stupid, and you're just trying to be like a dumb like critic kind of a guy or something like that." I got really mad at that comment. I'm like, I'm gonna type, "How dare you?"
Oh yeah, I had people trying to correct me like with my story mode faux pas and stuff, And I'm like, you do realize that, one, I'm playing and talking, so I don't see everything that you do because you're just watching. But also, you're just wrong in this instance, so I must correct you. But
I want to get into one thing because I have like about like a dozen comments of people just explaining to me this thing where it's completely wrong what they're explaining to me, but I've got like the same comments so many times that I want to talk about this in just a bit. But one other thing that I like to mention is the fact that I've noticed with the Mortal Kombat 1 community, it's either like super positive, perfect, pitch perfect, nothing wrong with this game, everything is yas, everything is great, or how wait, sorry, I was about to let me finish it, or everything is shit. Like there's a lot of negativity towards just like, oh fuck this story mode, NRS has done it again, ruined the game, absolute piece of shit. And these type of people kind of give not the most fun engagement because you should talk this story, you should talk one little thing. It's not even that big of a deal. It's like, I just think this is a little stupid. I enjoyed it, but it's a little stupid. How dare you? You just can't admit when something is written correctly or done the best, and like, or someone just leaves a whole entire like paragraph of things they hated about the story. Let's have a middle ground. Let's have a discussion, you know? I think it's more fun to just like talk about things instead of just being like, it's peak, this is peak, this is mid, and stuff like that.
So I've not been talking about the game, well, the story on because I wanted to save it all for this episode. But when it comes to other stuff, I've been posting about stuff on Twitter, like the dumb things they've done, like how you can only have one customized version of the character, period. You can't have two. You used to be able to have 5. Now there's 1. Like this is a step down customization compared to MK11, which was already really bad. And then someone's like, "Oh, all I see from you is complaining." Let me explain something to you. If someone complains about something a lot, that doesn't invalidate any single thing they've said about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just means that the thing has a lot to be criticised for, and this game does have a lot to be criticised for. It has some things that are good, but there's a lot of weird decisions that feel like steps back. Like the fact that you can't have no HUD option in training, which has been a part of the series since 2011. As far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Yep, I helped you with that.
Like it doesn't carry over. It's not the kind of thing that should just carry over by default, unless you specifically choose to take it out. And if you specifically choose to take it out, why? Why are you specifically choosing to take out this specific feature?
The training mode is severely lacking. NetherRealm, I love you, but the training mode is lacking a lot of features that every past game has had. The most annoying of which is you can't map the moves anymore. You have to go back to the menu every single time if you want to look up a string. You can't paste it on the screen like you could in MK11 or X. You can't do that anymore. That is slowing me down a lot with my guides, having to constantly go back in and look at the move and like memorize it that way. I still get it, but it's so much easier before to just put them all on screen and then just like, you know, talk about the moves and stuff. And you can't do that now. Also, some of the frame data is wrong. Like it's straight up wrong. It'll say this move on block is NA, which used to imply that that last hit doesn't come out on block. It only is an on hit thing. No, it still comes out on block. So you better turn on frame data and just check what it actually is on block, because the game does not tell you. It just lies and says NA. And then even worse, for Mileena, she has one move that it says is +4 on block. It doesn't come out on block. It doesn't even come out on whiff. There is no way for that move to be anything on block. That move is actually NA, but it's not listed as NA. And some moves cost 2 bars of meter by default for EX moves. Mileena has one, and Cyrax has one as a cameo. That should be listed under the notes. Cost 2 bars of meter. It's not. The note is completely empty. The notes tab on most of the moves means nothing. It's blank for like 99% of moves, and it definitely should say stuff a lot of the time, because there's really unique stuff that some moves can do, and it's not listed down there. And I'm like, okay, this training mode is not done. It is not finished.
I do think that these are things that can be like fixed with a patch, and I really hope they get on with that, because some of these are actually, in my opinion, I would think those are pretty important. If like Snake's like criticism, in my opinion, are actually like pretty valid, especially the HUD thing. In Mortal Kombat 9, when I was making my Mortal Kombat 9 videos, I had a lot of fun just booting up the game and just like picking Reptile and Smoke and letting them use their meter burn invisibility so I can look at the background and stuff like that.
Oh, smart.
And then this game has really beautiful stage backgrounds and stages, but they're just gonna have that ugly HUD over there. It's like, I would appreciate the great background and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It should include a photo mode, honestly.
Yeah, that's one of
honestly,
the. I follow a bunch of YouTubers who all they seem to post are those polls. That's all they post. and one of them was like, "What?" Well, let's do polls, like with the audience, like, what do you want to vote on? And one of them was, what's the game mode you want added the most, or game feature, and like everyone voted for the photo mode, and I'm like, yeah, it'd be pretty fun.
Cool. Yeah.
I think first we should give our general thoughts on the story.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you want to do that? Yeah, you mean like?
Yeah, I think because it seems like a good starting place. Even though
fair
we're like
enough.
half an
Fair
hour
enough.
in.
Let's use this as the intro or something like that. I'll try to see. We'll try to make it exaggerating. Like, I think it's that kind of stuff.
And we can skip
What's up,
Sonic
dog?
because he already jumped the gun, so we don't want to.
You already? Yeah, I thought you would even watch my videos too, but I'll say.
I watch all of you guys' videos now. I'm a better person than I was before.
Well, technically speaking, if everyone knows what my opinion is, I might as well just quickly get mine across, because my opinion is.
You son of a bitch! He's going first again. This piece of shit.
Fine.
I
think Snake is the most interesting here. In my opinion, I think he should go last. But I'll just quickly go through it. But for me, like, because I think the question would be, I think this game sucks, or I think it doesn't suck. To me, I think the story mode, like, legit just has, like, arcs, and has, like, acts. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And, like, I actually like the beginning acts, and then it starts, like, dropping down, like, towards the end. And then that, like, last section is definitely, like, the most insane, and I think we'll get into more of that later on, but that's me. It's basically just, like, that's sort of how I felt with the story. Yeah.
I want like a graph animated now of like just a regular graph, and like the bar is moving in real time, and it's like Sonic's endorphin levels, like it's just like going down as the chapters go.
No, not multiverses.
Of course, there's that big spike when he gets to the Reptile chapter, and it's like
easily.
And like you just see Sonic there, and it's just like the shack eyes open, like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Mileena, I sleep. Reptile, the prophecy has been fulfilled.
Real shit, basically. But yeah,
Snake go then.
Let's go to Dog. I want to hear what Dog. By the way, we don't even know his full reaction yet because he hasn't posted his entire playthrough as of right now, so we don't know how he feels about the entire thing. Yeah. Ooh.
So I guess if I had to do complaints first, because that's just how my brain works. First, overall, I like the story. I guess I'll start with positives. I'm always a critique guy first. I'll start with positives. Like I thought overall it was fun. It did have a big problem that even Sonic touched on, where in order to explain how the returning characters are different, they just straight up monologue, and they all take turns monologuing whenever like it's their chapter or whenever they get introduced,
time.
As opposed to it being like revealed naturally. They could have at least had a third character like whisper in the background, that guy actually got kicked out of his clan because he can turn into a human. But no, instead it's just Reptile saying it, like, oh, my people, blah, blah. And then Ashrah, oh, I'm this and this. And then everyone's just saying their own backstory. The only time we don't get that, which was clever, is Liu Kang actually talks about Rain's background to Raiden. Rain is the only character that does not explain themselves. Everyone else.
Shao as well. Sindel
the tournament scene, the tournament scene. Of course.
Basically the villains or the people in Outworld, not really your own. Yeah,
there are a few others too. Like Liu Kang explains Li Mei, and the Guardian stuff. Like
everyone explains Li Mei. Everyone gives her backstory because they all hate her, man. Yep. But the other complaint I have, which is more of a glaring one in my personal opinion, is that sometimes a really big thing will happen and the characters don't react to it much at all. They're kind of like Sunday morning cartoon characters. They're like, oh well, time to fight. And it's like, bro, the entire forest filled with like innocent souls ancestors just got fucking ravaged. And nobody's freaking out about this shit. That's like one of the most important landmarks in Outworld, and it's forever destroyed. And y'all are just like, whatever.
Actually,
the part where the soul things are activated at the Ying Fortress, and Scorpion and Smoke are just there like,
oops, oh yeah.
Like, they should be like, oh god.
I just thought of something kind of funny though about that living forest part. Technically speaking, other than Baraka, I don't think anybody really cares about Sindel's like forest, like that Outworld part, because like Reptile is very far away. Ashrah's from Netherrealm. Baraka has his own colony, and then the rest of them are from Earthrealm. So they're just like, oops, the living forest. Maybe if it's a Katana or
like,
Sindel, like, no, my living
it should have been a
forest!
big moment, is what I'm saying. Like several people should have been like on their knees, like, how could this happen? You know, it's all Liu Kang's fault. Like stuff like that should have happened. You know, there should have been blame. That should have been a big turning point in the plot. And it's legit just a scenery change for most of the characters. They're just like, oh well, background's different. Let's fight.
It's a very sick and disgusting like scenery change though. It's like the living forest looks disgustingly awesome. Just I mean the corrupted living forest. It's just like, whoa, this whole place looks really cool now.
And are we talking about things we hate too, like just specific moments? Because I have one.
Just like your general thoughts.
Okay, just general. Okay,
whatever you can think of too.
I think I'm pretty much done then.
So you liked it, but you had some complaints about it, yeah.
Oh, I guess the heroes act stupid was also annoying. There's several parts where the heroes could have ended the problem like that, and they just don't. Like when they're doing when they have the drop on the evil bad guys in the living forest, right? And I'm like, all right, guys, Reptile's going in. He can turn invisible. He could literally sneak up right behind Quan Chi and just like slit his throat and stop the incantation, and then we start fighting. Ashrah, where are you going? Well, Ashrah ran in, so I guess we're just running in behind Ashrah now. And yeah. And then there's even a line I say in my newest video where when Reptile does that funny line where he goes, in order to catch me, they must see me. And he turns invisible, right? Then sure enough, what fucking happens? He's just up high in his goofy big-ass lizard mode and gets seen. And I'm like, Reptile! Reptile, is it painful or something? Is it like holding in a fart? Is that why he's just not invisible the whole time? Like,
well, technically speaking, he has to spit acid on himself, and then he has only a limited amount of time he can be invisible.
Not in story mode. In story mode, it's different for some reason in story mode. Otherwise, I was going to agree with you. I thought about that on the drive home last night. I'm like, oh, well, he has to spit on himself. No, he doesn't. We see him just turn invisible
in
out
fact,
of nowhere.
In story mode,
times.
His invisibility isn't even completely invisible. It's kind of like the not EX version of previous Reptile invisibility. Because if he doesn't EX his invisibility, you can still slightly see him, right, in the old games.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of invisibility, too. So he didn't EX his move, but then again, the new one, he doesn't need...
Also,
story mode and gameplay is a bit different, I guess.
I did laugh a bit that Reptile, despite his sheer size, does not seem to weigh very much because he gets thrown around by certain characters, and I'm like, shouldn't this guy weigh like a ton? He's huge.
I saw the Ermac part, yeah, when he said that.
Yeah, when the tree hits him, he just goes flying, and I'm like, whoa, he's not as heavy as he looks. Like, he just got tossed.
He's a light boy. He's a soft boy.
Yeah, which is... I don't think that's how reptile anatomy works. I'm pretty sure they're just as heavy as any other animal with like meat and tissue and bone. But
I'm sure, yeah.
They don't got hollow bones. They're not sharks. They're not made of cartilage or anything. I don't think so. But yeah, I'm done.
Oh, here we go, the finale. Oh, this is very exciting.
So, a lot of people do have this stupid idea that I go into these games wanting to hate them. I don't. I go in wanting to like them. I've been really hoping for like good MK content for so long, and really all the other stuff that I would say is like genuinely good that's come from the franchise since 2011 would be... I've kind of softened on MKX a bit over the years. I quite like Snowblind. Scorpion's Revenge was okay. Again, I've softened on that. I tend to soften up my views on a lot of the games.
Did you say you softened up on 2011 too, or did you say you liked 2011?
A bit. Softened up a bit on 2011.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's mainly because another thing comes out that's worse. Like it's hard to stay too mad at MK9 and X when 11 exists, which is just horrific in storytelling and just as a game with the way it's structured. And so I'll go into this one, and obviously I want it to be good. And so what ends up happening is I play through the story, fortunately avoiding much in the way of spoilers. What was spoiled more by was my own conclusions about what's going to happen based on the trailers. I got a surprising amount of stuff right there.
That's actually one of the reasons I didn't want to watch that video after I was done the story mode, because I was thinking like I might be thinking about this like, oh, would the snake get right in that video? So that's why I kind of saved it for later, because I just wanted to go in blind. Yeah.
Like
so. It's hard to tell if it's that
good one.
If they're just that predictable, or if I'm just that smart, or if it's just that they gave so much away in the trailers. I feel like they did give a bit too much away in the trailers because there were so many of them.
And also in the character bios and stuff, because if you read the character bios, it straight up just repeats it in cutscenes.
They gave a lot away for Act 1 and Act 2, but literally Act 3 and then like the Shang twist and stuff like that.
Especially Act 4, that's hard to predict.
They really kept that a good secret, in my opinion.
Although I did predict like right away that from the way Shang Tsung comes through that portal, that was the Aftermath one.
That's what I was wanting to mention. Congratulations, Snake. You predicted that from the very first trailer, actually. Even when Geras was talking about like is it possible that two timelines are like going at the same time, side by side? And I'm like, oh my gosh, is it actually the Force Snake theory that he made last time we were on the podcast? Is that actually gonna happen?
It's like as soon as he says that, it's like, oh, that is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with all that in mind, I actually quite like it.
Woo! Wow!
Where's the confetti?
Woo! Confetti!
I actually think this story mode is quite good. I mean, there are some caveats, of course.
Of course.
But I think
yes.
I think overall obviously it's going to have the problems of the character chapter systems and just weird stuff like, why do we only get one cameo per character? Like, why when we've got a team of 3 guys doing this mission, is Kenshi always with Kung Lao? Or, no, with Johnny, rather.
I feel like there's an outlier for this. I feel like there's an outlier. Let me check. But yeah, mostly like 90% it is just one cameo fighter for you. Yeah,
like why not just let us have multiple? But anyway, the actual story is very basic, but it's not bad. It's fine as like a starting point for this new era. It's not really a new era. It's just a new timeline.
Yeah.
But as like a genesis for this, it's very basic. It's not just the tournament again, which I suppose is good. That it's not just we're going to do the tournament's there.
Yeah.
But I wish they'd done a little more with it, because the way it's actually structured is really weird. Like, Raiden fights everyone. And he gets like seven fights in his.
Oh, that was insane! I was like, wow, they were giving Raiden a lot of fights for this, like his own chapter.
And don't forget, he kicks like 3 different boss characters' butts off screen too when we weren't watching. So
yeah.
He does? Which one? I forgot about that.
Kotal.
Oh, that's right. Kotal Motoro and Shiva.
Losing off screen, baby. Nobody takes
Let's
L's
go,
like
baby.
Kotal. Even loses off screen.
Let's go. Oh, by the way, I have this over here too. I put this in the background.
Look at that little loser. Look at that little loser. Can't even escape the plastic box that binds him.
So I got this for a birthday present. My friend was like, oh, happy birthday, I got you a Kotal Khan figure. And then what's funny is the day before he gave this to me, he was like, so I recently just watched your podcast, and I literally shit myself saying, oh fuck, and I got him this, oh fuck. but it's like, no, it doesn't need to work, because this is a different version. It's like a bloodied up version of Kotal Khan instead of just the normal one. So yeah, I still appreciate it. It's very nice of a birthday present. Sorry, you keep going. I just want to talk about that.
I think overall is pretty solid. My issue is with the big twist,
the last half,
and when you get to like, the last couple of chapters, because I feel like in and of itself, it's not the worst thing in the world. I am disappointed that we are going into multiverse stuff, because everything's doing multiverse stuff. I feel like it's really unfortunate that that's what we're doing. Maybe they just want to use ideas that they didn't get to use for Injustice or something, but.
There's a theory about that too, yeah.
Also, a bit late to the party too, NetherRealm. A bit late to the party on that. Multiverse is already like fallen out of fashion, and they just started.
But there were things I thought were kind of cool, because like I've spoken before about how MKX kind of feels like, in a lot of ways, it's basically what they would have done anyway, even without the reboot.
Yeah.
The Johnny and Shinnok stuff, the new generation. This feels like that. Like this feels like it's ideas that because I think Chan Cholo worked on MKX. It's like it's ideas he wanted to use for MK11 before they had to do the time travel stuff, because MK9 is 1 to 3, MKX is MK4. This game, the final boss is the Deadly Alliance. Onaga's army is part of the plot, and the final fight takes place on a pyramid like in Armageddon. They even mention Armageddon and Damashi manipulating people.
Yeah.
Like, it really is like a reimagining of the 3D era with a bunch of 3D era characters showing up. It really feels like this was what the plan all along, even without the reboots. It's so weird. But my issue is the fact that final chapter,
the Armageddon chapter,
it's wild, and I feel, and for what it is gameplay wise, it's pretty cool. Where you pick any character and then you run up the pyramid and you fight a bunch of weird amalgamations of characters or specific special versions. Although honestly, I will say that generally speaking, the most interesting ones show up in the cutscenes, like the Kung Lao Raiden amalgamation that gets like burned alive.
Oh, that's right.
That's more interesting than some of the ones that I fought. Like I fought Stung Lao, which was Scorpion mixed with Kung Lao. I also fought Kung Lao mixed with Scorpion. Dang. I fought both in one run.
Oh, that's weird.
Crocodile was pretty
thought-
cool. I liked Crocodile.
You got Crocodile? You got Gearus Reptile? Nice.
I got the Johnny Baraka amalgamation.
Oh, that's different.
Like Johnny
Oh, that's
Savage or something,
funny.
which looks like Johnny with Tarkat. I got female Ermac using Frost as a base.
I got female Ermac too. Yeah.
And Cyber Smoke.
You got Cyber
I got
Smoke.
Cyber
Wow,
Smoke.
congrats.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got Purple
cool.
Boy. Yeah.
That is one thing that I find that to be so impressive is everybody like gets different characters, or like depending on who you play, you get different characters. I even heard some people tell me like, of course I picked Reptile. Actually, I'm kind of curious what you all picked. I picked Reptile.
I picked the character that I could guarantee win with no losses, so I picked Sub-Zero.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just picked Liu Kang. 'Cause
Okay.
I didn't know it was going to be one of them. I thought, oh, pick Liu Kang. You play as the Fire God. Finish the story with him. No, just this other Liu Kang just comes in, and see that's part of my issue is because you guys have seen my Injustice 1 critique.
Maybe.
You bastard. But there's a part where towards the end where I discuss how an issue with the ending is the fact that this whole setting is about Batman's insurgency fighting Superman's regime for 5 years.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden the Justice League from another universe show up and they resolve it. But not only that, the League show up and they're the focus for the story, for the game. And then their Superman comes over for the last chapter and he just wraps everything up himself.
Yep.
And that's the issue here is we're not picking one of the characters versions we follow. We're not picking the Johnny Cage we met in chapter 2.
We are
picking the. No,
sorry,
it's
Snake. There are some characters who are from different dimensions, but then there are some characters who are clearly from the original dimension too.
Yeah, I noticed
you
that
can look
too.
At
I think if you pick Reptile, don't you get regular Reptile? Like,
yeah,
you don't
it's
even
the
get
regular
God
size
one?
out skin.
Really?
You pick Johnny,
Yeah,
it's
which is
the
confusing.
it's the fourth chapter skin. Yeah, because like some characters, like say Sindel died, so it's like okay, if you pick Sindel, it's a different dimension. But like
Sub-Zero's
you
a
pick
God
Lee
version
May,
because he's
Ashrah,
good.
they are from the
Yeah.
base universe. Yes. That at least the costume is the exact same, unless they say, "Oh, it's the same costume, a different
Okay.
dimension." But it is the same costume.
So it might be a little better than I thought it was because I did try it with another character. I forget who it was, but they also
Different
were
costume.
given this random other costume. So
Mostly the villains you. A dog left though. Should we? Should we? Yeah.
nah, it's fine. Carry on.
Because that's the thing about that mode that I actually do appreciate. It's like mostly the characters you pick are from like the story, are from like the main like universe. But then like if there are special occasions, like say they're villains or if they're dead, then they'll be from a different dimension. So like that is like an interesting thing that
Okay.
I actually did look up every single character and what they look like depending on like the mode you pick. And like so like you pick Sub-Zero, it's a different dimension Sub-Zero because straight up Bihan just like said, I don't care about you guys, you do your own thing. So that's why it had to be like a good guy version of Bihan to come in. But if you pick Kuai Liang,
Yeah.
it is you see like the scar on Scorpion, like that is like the Scorpion from the story mode and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's weird how they're not there. Like they should be there in the crowd. Like I couldn't see them. At least not they're up front where they should be.
You do
Like,
see them actually. You actually do see a
noticed
couple of them.
I noticed good General Shao in the background.
If you pick Shao, it is a good general. It is a good Shao.
Nice.
It's kind of interesting. I want to see
Yeah.
what he looks like when he's just running up the stairs and fighting. But his lines, because every character you pick, there are some unique dialogue depending on like what happens. The unique dialogue part happens when Titan Katana shows up to like, I'll help you basically wipe out the combat kids, and then they'll be like, thank you Katana for the most part. Some of them will say some unique things like if you pick Mileena, she'll say thank you sister. If you pick Katana, she'll say thank you sister. You pick Sindel, she'll be like, I'm proud of you daughter or something like that. You pick Shao, he will actually say something like I'm like good job Katana in like kind of like a wholesome way, be like, oh, it's kind of interesting Shao like praise Katana in that sense. And at the very end, when you beat the Deadly Alliance, Liu Kang walk up to him and be like, and they say, I'm the chosen one. Each of them will also say something different too, which is actually really fun to check out.
It harkens back to older games, like because it reminds me of in certain like Dynasty Warriors games, they'd have certain scenes where any character could be here. So here's Fan Castle for the Wei faction, and where you're going to go and fight Guan Yu. And if you take Guan Yu as your character, Lu Meng's like, our enemy is Guan Yu, and Guan Yu says, the enemy is myself? Ha! This should be interesting.
Oh, that's cute.
or this one in Warriors Orochi, where if you take Sun Tzu with Sun Tzu to save his father, like the one you're playing as will have his lines where he's saying, this doesn't make any sense. Like he's freaking out the fact there's two of him. Mm-hmm. So it reminds me of that scene, like two Liu Kangs teaming up, which is kind of fun. But yeah, I have another point to make, but you get to your thing.
I just wanted to end the last thing is the fact that, like I just said, if you pick a villain, it will be from a different dimension. The only outlier, which I find to be very interesting when I looked up, is actually Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung is the same costume as he is in the game, so he will work with Liu Kang. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Revenge. And
he wants revenge on his other self, so it would be really unsatisfying if it's like Aftermath Shang Tsung manipulates M1K Shang Tsung, and then just some other Shang Tsung just walks in and says, "I've got this."
There literally was remember at the very end you see Shang Tsung being like, "Hurry, Sub-Zero, you're almost there." You see like that looked like a very noble Shang Tsung at the very end there too. There's like a very
there is like a good Shang Tsung in the crowd, which made me laugh because I just thought of that meme of Liu Kang. You have chosen peace, then you have chosen. And it just shows like holy. But I want to beat the game again with Kung Lao just because I think he deserves to like one time be the hero, and I'm curious what Liu Kang says to his buddy. I hope he says something similar to like, "I always knew you had it in you," or something.
I want to know if Kung Lao or Johnny will comment on the combat kids being murdered.
Like, they make a quip. They do make a quip. That's all I'll say about that. It's not the biggest.
I want to know if Lao will recognize Jin, because like Cassie doesn't exist. Johnny not recognizing her is fine, but it's like, will Kung Lao recognize Kung Jin being killed by Katana? It's like, what? No.
Like, oh, no! Too bad that was an evil version. Welp.
It's also kind of funny, real quick, to think about how Ninja Mime shows up for a split second, which on the surface, just a cute reference. But if you actually think about it, these aren't just random fighters. These are all like time gods in their own universe, right? Like keepers of time.
I think it's just different dimension characters. It's hard to say if they are Titans, because like I said, you play as your own character who can show up and stuff.
I know that at least Katana is a Titan too, but
Katana.
I will say that if that implies that Ninja Mime became a Titan and he's still keeping the bit going, that's freaking fantastic. Like he's still choosing not to speak.
Well, there's also a dark Ninja Mime you can fight, so there's potentially two of them.
Oh, that's interesting. Actually, that is the one thing that I will say that I'm just completely blown away is how many random ass combination characters that you can get. I saw someone on Twitter post like you can get a Liu Kang Kano combination, and Liu Kang's voice actor would be like with an Australian accent, be like, "Go take out the raw guy" or something like that. It's like, what?
I love the Sonya Kano one because I didn't get what it implied. I was like, does that mean Sonya killed Kano and just took his eye to upgrade, or does this imply that Sonya is Kano in that timeline? Like, what's going on?
I think in that case, Kano would be the special forces. Then I think that's the case.
That's one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that it's one of the issues I have broadly with a lot of multiverse stuff is it treats other universes as expendable.
Yeah.
Like it's not about exploring these alternate possibilities. Like here's where things could have gone different, and then you get characters interacting with these alternate counterparts, and they can compare and contrast with how their lives turned out. It's just like you get the bit where Ninja Mime and the two Johnny and girl Johnny
Cage or something.
Yeah, where they team up to fight like four
quadruple hammer Goro.
and they beat him, but then like all four of them just fall into the abyss and die, I guess.
It was like and it's like I think,
it's treated as a joke, and they're just completely expendable. And I want to know their stories.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I thought could have been really cool. Could have been if they could have had extra endings for these versions of the characters. So if I play as like Katana, let's say you play as Katana, and it gives you the Titan Katana. What's her story? How did her reality pan out? Raiden. What if you had like the older god Raiden we get to see, which also it's really cool that Travis Willingham's playing that Raiden because he plays him in Onslaught as well.
Oh, that's cute.
So if they hadn't been recast, it would have been Richard Epcar, which would have been even better.
Yeah,
but
I really wish it was
fine.
Richard.
And I think older Raiden's face is the one from MK11 because when I look at it, I really think of the vampire skin he had, where he didn't have the cowl.
Close. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Almost every single like multiverse like evil version counterpart character are all just like the base model is the same, and the only one that I can think that actually was like different or the same as MK11 was Dark Raiden. He straight up just looks like Dark Raiden from MK11, which I was
like of all the things that they were like even the hourglass doesn't look the same. It's been completely redesigned.
But
Dark
fair.
Raiden, they brought over aside from the eyes and like the skin tone, Dark Raiden is like 1-to-1 the design from MK11. Like, why is that the thing that gets the all the love,
okay,
love and
when
attention?
When the Shang Tsung twist happened, legit, it's like I am the Shang Tsung from the other timeline. I literally went like, oh, that's Dark Raiden from MK11 in the background. I was like, oh, Shang Tsung. I mean, okay, sure, but that's Dark Raiden. It looks exactly like him. Oh my gosh, are we actually gonna get like the MK11 versions of these characters back and stuff like that? No, it was only Raiden. Raiden was the only special case. Yeah.
That's why it's a shame that we don't see Dark Fujin.
Exactly. Cool. Yeah, it was like, oh, if you want to go with the twist, like they really should have added Fujin into the game for the twist.
Yeah.
But we got Evil Sindel, unfortunately.
They added fake vampire characters for Johnny Cage's scene and a knockoff Havoc for Johnny Cage's scene. So they could have made knockoff Fujin, but he just plays like Raiden's cameo or something. Would have been completely fine.
Yeah. Would have made the effect better, yeah. Although I will say this though, like the old man Raiden that comes back, who you literally only know that actually is Raiden from the MK11 ending if you play the arcade mode. It's like, yeah, that is the Raiden from Liu Kang's timeline. But who's Kung Lao then? I legit don't know who that is. Is it just...
See, this is one of the things I thought could have been cool would have been if... Because they were doing a weird way where like, oh yeah, this is Liu Kang's katana. It's not. She was rewound out of existence. His katana doesn't exist. Even the one we see in Aftermath is not his. It's a separate version.
Okay, well, the thing is, I thought
it would have been cool if she was from the good ending for MK11.
That's literally what I thought.
The medium one is the one that Aftermath follows. So what if the superior ending where Liu Kang just beats the shit out of Kronika, she doesn't even get a chance to rewind.
Yeah.
When Katana shows up, it's that Katana.
That's what I thought.
It's supposed to be, but it makes no sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But that's what they were going for.
Which would be funny, because if that is that katana, that means when she kisses Liu Kang, she's technically cheating on her Liu Kang.
Just took the katana. Hey, it's okay, Liu Kang. We're the same person. We're literally the same, right?
But hey, I will say, this fixes a little moral dilemma that I was having in my heart of hearts, because my friend was bringing up, you notice it in the intro dialogues. This is before the game released. He's like, you notice how Liu Kang and Katana like aren't flirting at all? And I was like, well, there could be two things happening. One, when you reach godhood, maybe you just see humans in a different way. Or two, it could be weird to like fall in love with someone when you've met their great grandmother, because like Liu Kang's been alive for such a ridiculously long time, you know, in this new timeline. So it could just be that he doesn't have love for her anymore because he sees her differently. So having him fall in love with the original Katana from his own timeline makes way more sense. And I was like, okay, that's way better than him flirting with like barely like in the new timeline.
The current Katana is sort of flirting with Raiden. I mean, like the new Raiden.
Katana is bisexual. Katana falls in love with anyone who beats her up.
I actually don't know. I don't know if that. I think it was more. I feel more of it with Raiden, seen with the intro dialogues. But Johnny does seem to flirt with everybody. Flirts with Sindel.
Yeah. One of the intros between Katana and Johnny, they do mention that he has taken her to see a movie.
Yeah, I think that's really cute. Yeah.
Also, unrelated, but another intro I saw just today when I was recording is Mileena alluding to Shao Kahn having siblings.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, she's like she lists two of them off and says you're like they don't like what you're doing, and he's like, my siblings are dead to me, Mileena.
Oh, okay.
And it's like,
you mean Shao has siblings? Okay.
Yeah. See, I thought it would have been cool if Coastal was one of his siblings.
Yeah.
Which would then immediately tell us who his father is. It would have been Coastal Ketz.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like our Onaga theory was also just incorrect. Oh, Onaga is the father? Or is Shao going to become Naga? Nope. None of those. He just has a horde. He just has a horde. You said Shao was Onaga, Snake. You said maybe Shao was Onaga. I think that theory is interesting. You pointed that out.
Snake's main theory was that the experimentation and like stuff his father put him through caused him to sprout horns. My theory before the game came out, like maybe 5 days prior, I just said in a video, I think he's just a different species, and that species just has like dragon-like horns. That's what I think it is. But
well, in the end, it didn't matter. It turned out it's just an aesthetic choice.
I mean, Onaga has basically been merged with the first Emperor of China, where it's like the undead army is now the terracotta army.
Yeah.
So like,
literally,
that's what he is. From Emperor Ying. It's an interesting take. It's like, how do I stop Onaga? I know, I'll merge him with the guy who killed himself by trying to extend his life by consuming mercury. That's a good way to reveal him. Make him an idiot.
How dare you? That man was amazing in Record of Ragnarok.
So when we get to choose our character, when the DLC characters come out, can we do a run as Ermac, as Quan Chi, as Peacemaker?
I really want to
Sonic is
too.
hoping. Because he wants
Yeah,
to see what
I
Omni-Man's
really want to.
ending and stuff would be, or like Omni-Man's quotes.
Omni-Man, Homelander's quotes, and they said, "I'm the chosen one. I can do whatever the fuck I want."
Basically, yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
I mean, some of the intros for those characters have leaked. Like,
I did see that.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you pronounce Modoink, but that's how I read it.
Modoink.
From MK Warehouse, he has found some of those in the files. Like,
Oh, damn.
like there are some. They're a bit cringy, but like it's about what you
References.
expect for the references and that.
Yeah.
I really want, if they let us do the final chapter with the DLC characters, which I think is not likely, but I've been wrong before. I want Omni-Man to, like, when he gets to the top, look back and go, you guys, you are the real
Homelander. You mean Homelander, not Omni-Man.
Damn it! I'm so good at that. I'm so good at saying the
Again.
exact opposite of what I mean. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I want
You
Homelander
guys
to do
are
that.
the
You guys
heroes.
are the real
That's so
If it's
funny.
Omni-Man, then he should say, like, Earth was never yours to conquer. Something basic like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cute. Here's a fun fact, by the way. In the arcade mode, the final boss you fight is Shang Tsung and Quan Chi. And after you beat them, you get a, like, you know, execution pop 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 moment with them too. It's actually your character beating them up with your cameo fighter beating up Quan Chi. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen this yet, but I'm so curious. What would Motaro look like doing that scene?
I've wondered that too, but I've not unlocked him yet. So
It's really hard. Someone said you had to play Invasions for like 4 hours to unlock him. Apparently,
because with Goro, you could get away with using the animation, just have his other arms just down like it usually is.
yeah.
But like, well, there is the size difference, so who knows? But it would be fun if some characters just had unique animations, because instead of just being the same one. So I think the character I've seen it the most with is Serena as my cameo.
Oh yeah, because she's OP. she's very broken right now. That's why everyone's using her.
So 'cause I want to get ones where I have like Sub-Zero and Sub-Zero, or Sub-Zero and Serena.
That's
I'm
cute.
also not going to get Liu Kang's ending until I unlock Kung Lao as a cameo. So it could be like, what if Kung Lao showed up when the Deadly Alliance were killing Liu Kang, and then they just beat the shit out of the two, and Kung Lao's like, karate chop. And she's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
There's something I did notice about that like cutscene that could help Motaro. Your cameo fighter never kicks when he's fighting up Quan Chi. So that way it won't be awkward for like Motaro to like do with his hooves and stuff like that. So he can
That's
just
probably
punch his
exactly the
opponent.
reason.
Yeah, but
Just for
now
him.
that's a very interesting thing that I thought about is semi-leak spoilers for the DLC of the cameo fighters. How's Farah gonna fight in that scene? Like, doesn't that maybe imply that Tor is gonna be there then, or like how is she gonna like be
I reckon
tall
It's gonna be
enough?
Big Farah. It's gonna be Big Farah.
I reckon she'll summon Tor for a fatality.
Yeah, for sure.
And then he'll be the one doing the fighting at the end, while Farah's just nowhere to be seen. You'd want it to be there cheering him on, but that would require extra animation just for this one character. So it'll just be Tor just shows up and beats him up, and Farah's just gone.
What if Farah, for her fatality, just goes, it gets all big just for her fatality, and then that's the excuse for her arcade ending too, is like she just gets big and starts punching as like big Farah in the background.
Well, unless if they're gonna go with the fact that it's like, oh, we're gonna change up these characters, but I feel like for the cameo fighters, a lot of them are really, really, really paying homage to what they did in the original.
Yeah.
I've noticed,
Yeah.
unless if
Yeah.
it's like say Serena or like
Frost.
yeah, like these are more like making stuff up or like because Serena you really don't have a lot of moves to take from, so that's why they have to like make up a lot for her.
How dare you?
What?
You don't remember the iconic Serena moves such as fire kick and dagger toss?
Wow. Technically speaking, they brought the dagger toss in a cooler boomerang-ish way. I mean,
Yeah, they did, which is like you said,
Here's
really
the-
overpowered.
Here's the thought. So Jax by default is the MK2 version. Other than in the ending scene, have we seen the MK3 version in the game? Because presumably that is a version he has because they made the asset for it.
Yeah.
the thing about the skins for cameo fighters is I don't think I've seen anyone unlock anything except for Sonya's like MK3 skin.
Yep.
I have to. So I don't know if you can get other cameo fighter skins. It seems like it's just palette swaps right now, at least.
I sure hope they have at least one for each, but that's asking a lot, I suppose. But Serena with an alternate would be really cool.
everybody with an alternate, really. I want to see like I do like the robots, but I want to see like their modern designs too, because there's so many different versions of them and whatnot.
I'm not sure if because remember I mentioned Serena's color palette that was Lee May like in the Natara trailer. I can't tell if that is just a recolor or if it is a separate design.
It's just a separate color for Serena. You mean the purple?
Probably.
Yeah, it's just a different color. I looked at it a bit closer. Yeah. But Serena would benefit a lot from a classic look, just because even though I dig her demon look because it aesthetically is consistent with like how Ashrah looks a little bit creepy too, I would love just a Deception style look or like a an Armageddon style look. Sorry.
You mean but I bet like the demon form won't change, right? She just it's only her clothes that will
I don't care if it's
like Reptile. Reptile's lizard form won't change.
Yeah. It's unfortunately
that would have been way better as a gear thing if you would choose his reptile form
I
instead.
want that. Oh yeah, that would have been much better. And also like the potential is there because okay, this is not too big of a spoiler for his ending, but in Reptile's ending you see other Zetarians, and the other Zetarians are wearing like clothes and like hats and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I want that. But I don't think they are gonna give that because even in like the pyramid like scene, when some characters, like when I played Reptile, the first character I fought was a Sindel and Reptile hybrid called Lizard Queen. So I wonder if that's a reference to MKX. And she straight up just like can turn like use like a tail like Reptile can, but when she turns into lizard form, it's exactly the same as Reptile. So I'm assuming that's gonna be they're just gonna stick with that and never change it. That's my guess, unfortunately.
Did you see my comment on your video, Sonic, when you were critiquing the game, the story?
Let me see. I actually don't, because this video turned out to be very successful. I was very happy. Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, I was gonna make a critique at first, like a normal comment. Then I'm like, nah, gotta go for a meme.
Gotta go for the meme.
Story mode never has chameleon X reptile makeout scene. 0 out of 10.
Like a lot of my comments are just like, I'm not really too sure of the creative decision of having like Johnny and Reptile sex scene for 15 minutes, but like I appreciate it and whatnot. Just so many of these like Reptile X somebody in my comment section, just like a ton. And the ironic thing is right now, like there seems to be an actual ship going on because of the intro dialogues. I don't know if you guys heard about this.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is it Reptile and Ashrah or something?
There's a couple of lines where you can like when I play as Reptile, you'll see him like use a move and be like, Ashrah taught me that, and like some intro dialogues where Ashrah would be like, I want to hang, I'm having fun hanging out with Reptile and stuff like that. And it's like there was one intro dialogue like Tanya talks a little bit about like Mileena, and Ashrah says like, I want what you have with Reptile or something like that, and it's like, ooh,
dang it. Ashrah, you're cucking Lee May.
Lee May!
That's her scaly boy. But
our Combat Kings approved like ship.
I like the idea of Reptile becoming now that he's like a fuckboy, he's becoming like a harem protagonist. Yeah. He got Femme Chameleon, he's got Lee May, he's got Ashrah. Throwing from Shaolin monks, Ian Mileena apparently inseparable, so Mileena's part of his in fact Reptile goes with Mileena in her ending to help her do something. Mm-hmm. So we see that the first shot is those two together, like he's like as her assistant. So yeah, Reptile's like getting all the women.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically.
I have
Except
people
in the new one, which is kind of funny to me. I can't believe there's even a fight where they're on the same screen together, like, and there's no interaction at all. Like, not even Reptile going like. Just kind of leaning over and looking at like Chameleon.
There is a fun fact
behind,
though.
like Tanya, she's just there to beat ass and chew gum.
It is really weird that most of the cameos don't speak. Goro gets a line, but Darius, Serena and
gets
Chameleon
a line.
Never say anything.
Serena gets one line too. What in the Quan Chi fight? It's like Natara's realm being like healed by Quan Chi should be proof enough. Havoc, paycheck.
Yeah, paycheck.
That's all she says in the whole entire story. But unless and then when you play as her, she gets the Jataka circle. She was like so muttering like spells. Okay, thank you, paycheck. She sounds familiar, like her voice actress. She sounds really familiar.
Don't know.
No Darius line, sadly.
It would be nice if it was Christina V, considering the fact she apparently did the battle grunts for Natara, because Megan Fox didn't do those.
Let's talk about Megan Fox. How about that?
Sure.
Okay, I gotta say, I think we should all, sadly, not really sadly, but just like we should make an apology. Sorry, Ronda Rousey, for doubting you. Like, you're not worse than her.
Yeah, Megan Fox is pretty bad.
It is surprisingly bad. Like, it doesn't even feel like she was really trying in some of these.
There's something off about the texture of her voice. Like, it doesn't sound like the other characters. It's hard to explain, but she doesn't sound the way the other characters do.
It sounds like she's too far from the mic or something, and it's not quite the fidelity of her voice. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, it sounds. It almost sounds like the actors have a better idea of how loud they need to speak. She's almost like a first-time YouTuber when you talk really quietly because you don't know how loud you need to speak.
I think she's
kind of like that. Maybe
to me, I look at her and like I feel like she's just reading the script. We can't help but what we do in these things. The veteranous eating people does not make us evil. Something like that.
And it doesn't, by the way. I found that line so funny because even regular humans have to consume living things to survive. Like, drinking blood is not any weirder than eating something's meat and muscle tissue and bone, which is what we do. So I don't get that line, but
that doesn't make her evil. Just all the working with Quan Chi part.
Well, it depends on, because in our reality, humans are the only sapient beings. Where that's the thing. It's like, I've often thought about this. Like, in like a fantasy setting, is a human eating an elf considered the same as a human eating a human? Because it's still a sapient being. Like, that's arguably where the stigma against cannibalism comes from. So, if there are other sapient races, is that the same thing? You know, it's
that's
interesting to
think
discuss.
about. Where was that scene in Lord of the Rings, Tolkien? Where's the scene where humans are chowing down on some elf steak?
When you mentioned that, by the way, you just reminded me of like her arcade ending. Her arcade ending is like conceptually like a creepy story, like a very creepy like idea. But portrayed by Megan Fox, it just sounds like an annoyed teenage girl.
I was gonna say,
right?
yeah.
It's just like, I'm gonna like maybe I'm gonna be banished, something like that. So I need to come up with a plan. Yeah, it's like so annoying. She's like an annoyed teenage girl in that. It's like it's supposed to be a very creepy, like messed up ending. Again, as I stated in that Natara episode, I actually kind of wish she sounded older, like this more mature, like woman kind of a sound. Just like I don't know. Natara's character just feels like I don't know.
I know we got to move on pretty soon to our like, what did we predict topic, but I do want to say,
sure.
If we don't get another Chaos character to come back in the next game or some other vampire character in the next game, I will never forgive NetherRealm for still not letting us go inside the vampire realm. Still to this day does not have a visual representation, and this was the time to do it.
You see a teeny bit of it in the arcade ending. You actually get a little bit of that.
That's something,
the artworks.
And you get Chaos Realm in the invasion mode. Every now and then, like, you're randomly sucked into it. So
that's
kind of a
thing. Is that Chaos Realm or is that just like a random realm? Or did they confirm that?
I'm calling it Chaos Realm. The colors,
okay.
I mean, it's just technically it's just like the Nexus, I guess. But to me, it looks like Chaos Realm because the color green is the one-to-one what it is in like the 3D.
Yeah, it does
games.
look
like
a
the
lot
exact
like
same
it
shade
too.
of green. Yeah.
What do you call it? Since we were talking about like Natara, I do feel like out of all the characters who got like jobbed really harshly, it's one thing to get jobbed, but you have a little bit of story. I did feel like because there was like a tweet that I kind of blew up recently. It was like they really like basically character assassinated like Havoc, and it's like tell me someone who got treated like worse and compared to Havoc, and I wrote like basically like. You know, I post a picture of Natara and like these two queens are fighting for who got ruined worse, basically.
General Shao got ruined pretty bad. He doesn't get a single W, and he's considered like, to me in my brain, he's the biggest jobber of the entire story. Like when he shows up and tries to act menacing, I'm like, your confidence is undeserved. You've lost every single fight. You should be like, please, Liu Kang, just let me have this. Like,
so, I remember who beats him. He loses to Raiden. Fair enough. He loses to Sindel. Fair enough. He loses to
Reptile.
Reptile beats him, and then we fight with the Dark.
Well, he also loses to Bihan. Don't forget about that.
Bihan, yep.
Oh shit! So he loses like 4 times.
Yes, he loses 4 times.
Dark Shao as well. So yeah, and Dark Shao comes in with his horrendous red hood. Like. Okay,
yes.
Or the Warcraft character.
Here's a challenge for you guys. Right, find me a design from all the alternate timelines that's halfway decent, other than Dark Katana and Mileena.
Okay.
They were pretty good.
I'll get you
everyone
one.
else is like here's Rain with his hair exposed and like here's Reptile in like a green jumpsuit.
None of the Reptile ones look good. None of them.
Why are these so okay? Sindel, Dark Sindel looks great, but like most of them are just terrible. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
I have a question, Snake. Are you specifically talking about chapter 13 and 14, or are we talking about the Armageddon part 2?
Well, yeah, all
because the Armageddon part is like chaotically fun. A lot of those designs, you know,
well, not the amalgamation characters, just the ones where this is just an alternate version.
Let's make it more simple,
character.
and let's just stick it to like the evil Titan Shang Tsung like versions. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Li Mei and maybe Tanya look pretty good too. Li Mei looks pretty good. The evil Li Mei.
I was laughing at evil Kenshi because they had the stupid like cyberpunk like sunglasses and like the
okay,
weird
wait,
suit. And
but
I was
the
like,
thing
what
is,
the heck?
the thing is, Snake, I'm gonna post this because my fan posted this to me. He was like, okay, this is evil Kenshi, right? Remember evil Kenshi?
Yeah.
He was like, isn't that the fourth?
I think it is.
Isn't that the fourth snake?
What?
Isn't that the fourth snake, yo? It's like it has that similar like color scheme and whatnot. It's like if they inverted the red and black. It's like how did they add a fourth snake reference in the story mode?
I'm sure what it is. The idea is he's just full Yakuza in that timeline. Like that's the diverging point.
Probably.
But I'm like, I would have gone with something closer to like the samurai outfit from MKX, or something like a cool dark samurai. That's what I would have gone for.
It is a bit random.
Not man in suit.
But to be fair, though, Snake, if they made it inverted color of that, like.
And like to be fair, General Shao's outfit change is so different that from the back, before they show us the characters, they just show us the back. And I saw Reiko and Shao Kahn, but my brain for a split second was like, is that Reiko or is that Shao Kahn? Because it looks like Shao Kahn's armor. Oh, so Reiko's just fully cosplaying Shao Kahn now, and Shao Kahn's just cosplaying the Lich King. Okay, gotcha.
Reiko looks pretty good. I like Reiko's design with like, the fur and stuff. That's a cool take. But like, most of them are just terrible.
What do you think about evil
gives you terrible
Sub-Zero?
Drip. Don't turn evil, kids. You get bad drip.
The evil Sub-Zero one was all right. I guess maybe they're going for like a cyber thing with him.
Is evil Scorpion like the new Invasion skin, or is it different?
It is.
Like it is straight up. It is. Okay.
So that raises the question of, is it Hanzo?
Oh, that's Hanzo, right? That should be Hanzo.
I believe it is.
Because what I think would have been cool for the finale, and I know I complain about them just basically axing the characters, replacing them with alternate universe versions, but if the alternate Scorpion was Hanzo, and like they actually got like these old voice actors to come back and do some lines just for that one sequence, that could have been cool. And I also think that I'm sure there must be, like, surely one of the amalgamations must be Scorpion with Sub-Zero's moveset, where it's just an alternate Kuai Liang. Surely that must exist in the game.
I actually do wonder if these evil versions of the skins are gonna be the Invasion seasonal like bosses, because we got Scorpion that is from like the story mode. I actually at first I wasn't really vibing with the skin, but like with different color palettes it does look decent. The one detail about that skin that someone pointed out that actually looks really cool. You know, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna look for it because it actually is like pretty cool.
I hope they do bring those over into Invasion, because one of my biggest issues with Invasion so far is I'm on the village and like every fucking fight is Kung Lao, Katana, Geras, or like one other character.
Geras
and it's like, why is it the same one? At one point it was like, okay, fight this Katana, this Kung Lao, this Geras, and now you're gonna fight all of them in an endurance match.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? I've already just like give us some. I want to see a wider variety. And this is the thing is. It's meant to be a new take on the Towers of Time. Towers of Time would change stage and opponents all the time. Here it's like you're fighting the same handful of characters that are tied to one location, and you get one stage. I don't think it even changes time of day when you're fighting there. It's the mode is underwhelming so far. Yeah. I'm hoping it gets better once we get into the other locations.
Oh, did you finish the village though yet, Snake?
No.
Okay, because.
Not quite yet either.
Okay, well, this isn't too big of a spoiler, but at the very end there was a boss. Yeah, I don't think it's like oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever, but it is a bit interesting. So like here's a different color of the. Let me see. Here we go. Oh wait, I have a. Okay, here's a different color of the invasion mode like boss like Scorpion.
Nice.
I think this color looks a bit better, but also if you notice a detail, the armor is like fused into his skin. It's like coming into him. It's like yeah. It's like a very interesting detail. Yeah, I like this color scheme a bit more with it, yeah. I appreciate it a bit more looking at it like this. But that is one thing though, different color palettes with those skins. I'm curious if that will look better or not with some characters.
Also, one of those towers, NetherRealm, go F yourself, because I hate that, like, whenever you land a move, even if the move triggers, like, a cutscene style animation, the random hazards on the stage can still hit you out of your move and just steal your victory.
It's like doing the grab animation, oh, getting knocked down, basically.
Yeah, I purposely did Mileena's EXi, which costs 2 bars, but it does, like, a huge chunk of damage by itself and gets a free follow-up. So it's like, yes, I win. A Saw Blade just came out of nowhere, hit me, knocked me out of the animation. Opponent did a cameo to bring me back in. I went, no. They launched me, did a quick short combo, like flat 30% damage. I died, went all the way back down to the bottom of the tower.
I think I only failed the tower once. You fight right now. You fight like 4 characters, right, in the tower, or 5. I forgot. Because later on, I think I saw it gets really scary. You maybe get up like 18 or something. I could be wrong about that. It does get insanely. There was a clip where someone was playing the tower, and I think they got to like tower number 17. They beat it, and the final tower was a test your might, and it was the hardest test your might ever. It was like you're pressing it, and it's like usually it's like it goes, it slowly goes down and stuff like that. In this test your might, it was like that kind of situation. Fail, and then that's it. Your whole entire run is ruined because you failed to test your might.
That dummy.
I hope they do patches so like
keep a battery on it.
Really, what it should be is that you go in, and then if you leave the tower because you've lost or you choose to quit, then you have to redo the whole thing. But if you lose, you should get to stay on the same level. You shouldn't have to redo the whole thing. That's ridiculous.
There is an item that the collector sells.
You shouldn't need an item.
But you got to spend your money somehow, right? You got to do that like somehow. I didn't buy that yet, but you can buy an item that's like if you failed the tower, you can straight up just try again if you have that item. I haven't been using the items
like
much.
That.
I just
but yeah,
occasionally be like,
watching, so sorry for anyone who is watching at home that doesn't know. You take a battery or a pencil and you just put it between the buttons and you just do this. And it's like instant win on any test your might tower.
Well, the thing is, the test your might tower isn't about how fast you can get to the top. It's about how accurate you can hit that one spot.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's the tough part.
I had one of those recently. The first test your might in the story that pops up where you have to like
the
break through the doors as Baraka. Yeah, well, because of that, I accidentally hit R2 while I was pressing the buttons. So then you fail once, and then everyone's just like. And they all fall. It's a cutscene where they all die from poison, and Baraka's just there, like still trying, and then he's like,
that's how it happens.
And dies.
Yeah,
so there's probably like violent death for a bunch of the other ones.
There is,
there Scorpion has one where you have to like try and break free, and then he puts Havoc's face in the gold.
I lost the Scorpion one, and it made me laugh because I was already making a joke before it even happened because. Before it even showed the test your might, I was already laughing that like he touched the hot stone around the pot and went and I went, oh no, not hot stuff. Scorpion hates being around hot stuff. He's definitely not like immune to fire or anything. But then I had to try and dip my head. I'm like, wait, this shouldn't even do anything.
What do you call it? I like that one commentary you made. It was like, oh no, the door's stuck. What do we do? Reptile, you can turn big, you know that. No, Baraka, get out of my way. It's like, I mean, I guess even okay.
I thought it was gonna be Reptile's moment because he was like a big traitor until that part. So I thought it was gonna be okay, Reptile, like save the guys, redeem yourself right now. But it's
not. Yeah, it's not. So it's his moment. Yeah. Oh, by the way,
Baraka just bang on the door until he
basically
dies.
Yeah.
Funny.
Somebody forgot to mention. So Snake, I think you said it's like why only one cameo fighter. I did find an example that does change. Baraka's cameo fighter is Kung Lao when he's in the flesh pits, but when you fight Ashrah, it's Reptile.
Sometimes it's really weird, like the part where in Sindel's chapter where Rain tries to blast her and Li Mei takes the hit, and then you can still use Li Mei. Yeah. Or like, it's a bit where Tanya gets like paralyzed.
My ribs are broken.
And they're just available. Like the best one is the first fight in Reptile's chapter. Kenshi hasn't even reached him yet, but he's available.
Yep. And also, don't forget when Kenshi gets his big moment and finally gets his spiritual powers, he gets to be a cameo.
I mean, it's the same. Like you never play Kung Lao's like with the hat. You don't play Kenshi when he gets his big powers,
unless you choose them for the final level.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing about that ending. It's like, okay, you want to give Kung Lao his final moment. You want to have Kenshi has his chapter. Do you want to give Smoke his moment? Because Smoke completely got sidelined throughout this whole entire like game, basically. Or even more interesting that I saw. This actually kind of blows my mind. Garrus is not a playable character in the story mode. You never fight him, and he was never your cameo fighter. That I don't remember an NRS game doing this ever. It's like even like the Joker in Injustice 2 had a dream sequence just so we can have him in the story mode despite him being dead because it's a dream sequence. Okay, we're done. That's all. Joker's playable, but that's it.
The thing is, I thought it was wild that. So how about instead of giving us Dark Shao as a random opponent, so we can fight this guy 5 times. How about Dark Garrus, who shows up and is never fought?
He did show up. He's there. I was thinking that's a Dark Garrus.
Why isn't he there? Why can't we fight him?
You have that skin.
I have Dark Garrus. Yeah, it's like the random lottery thing at the shrine where you just get.
You got it in the shrine? I have not got a single skin from the shrine yet. I've only got palettes and like 10 concept arts. You're so lucky. I want a shrine skin. Does he have hair? Because I remember the one of the artworks that shows like Garrus. Okay, he doesn't have hair. Okay, that's an artwork. That's a different one then.
Yeah, I guess so. Dang, Garrus with hair sounds OP.
Did you know in the concept art of the Shang Tsung pretending to be Kronika, like she has hair in that concept art?
Nice.
Oh, that's the thing that I wanted to mention early on, where I was like, so many fucking people kept saying in the comment section how like, oh, like, okay, this is the thing that they say. Shang Tsung turning into Kronika was a genius move because in that way he can lead Liu Kang and Garrus off his trail until he makes his like reveal moment. And I'm just like, did you pay attention to what happened in the story mode? Did you not? Liu Kang and Garrus never see Kronika. They never actually see her because Garrus is like, who's this mysterious lady? I don't know. There's like a sensor filter on her.
How does he not know? He was created by her. He remembers past timelines. He's aware of them. He's seen them. Even though he says that Liu Kang created him, he's like he knows about the past timelines. Yeah. He should know what Kronika looks like. No, he shows visions to Sindel of Kronika. How can you not look at her and go? He did. That's fucking Kronika.
Yeah, but he did say there's like a sensory like thing that's preventing me from knowing who this mysterious person is, despite the fact that we can see it. That's really weird they explain it like that.
Liu Kang did try to guess it. Liu Kang tried to guess.
It's just
Kronika,
a twist.
Garrus said no, it's not possible. So
yeah,
it's just there as a twist for the player, not for the characters.
Exactly,
it makes no sense.
So it's like it's like Shang Tsung could have pretended to be like this person with a mask or like a mysterious figure and all that, but no, he specifically is Kronika just to trick us. Oh, I'm sorry, but he then says Damashi 3D era reference. Yeah, and it doesn't make sense either for that too.
It doesn't. It would have made more sense if either was like this is Kronika, then Kronika's like I'm Shang Tsung the whole time, and it's like the whole thing was just what that work fine. Or if it's like if he appears as Damashi and you think oh shit Onaga, and then it's like no it's a twist, it's not Onaga, that would have been fine. But it's like
neither.
He's like no I'm gonna use the form of this person and the name of this person, but the name of this person I'm using. Like at least if Damashi was presented as the name is like Kronika's like I am Damashi, thinking. Is that Damashi posing as Kronika, or is that Kronika using the name Damashi so no one knows it's her? But no, it's like it's just twist on top of twist for no reason.
And it's only for the player. It's like it doesn't matter for the characters at all.
Yeah.
And again, I have so many people in my comments being like, "Oh, Shang is a genius because it's leading them astray because they think it's Kronika. They don't know it's Kronika. They never. You guys are being tricked by Shang. That's exactly what he's doing. He's actually tricking you guys."
And it's also funny now that you mention it, and this was also done just to fool us, the player. Normally, whenever Shang Tsung takes someone's soul, ironically enough, he gets their outfit that they are wearing too, right? But for some reason, Kronika has new drip, which implies that he dressed Kronika or something.
It's like her OC Kronika, basically. I want to like OC, like how I designed Kronika.
That's exactly not how she looks. Yeah, he just changed her outfit. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's like the most bizarre part of the story.
Is that the most bizarre? I think the whole ending is very bizarre if you really want to say that. Yeah. But I will say this though. At least the ending has like some
logical basis for what's happened before. Like this whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use this person's form and this person's name to trick the audience. That makes no sense whatsoever.
To be fair though, I think
Shang would have I think it would have been smarter for Shang to just be, hey, I'm also Shang Tsung from another timeline. You should have had a life just like mine, but Liu Kang fucking did. Like, it would have been smarter for him to do that.
Well, he just wanted the twist, the big reveal, basically.
Like, you're drinking a bottle of water, then they wanted the big spit.
Yeah,
like, oh my god,
if you really think about
it, wow.
That twist is not for the in-universe characters. It's just for us. It's literally just for the players. Although I really think if you think hard enough and you really try to go through the story mode, there will probably be more things that are bizarre or weird. I think one of my comments saying is someone just like, okay, so Titan Shang Tsung literally says like, okay, literally, it doesn't matter if we're losing here. All we gotta do is actually break the hourglass and I win. We gotta kill Fire God Liu Kang and I win.
Yeah.
So why not just go to the hourglass from the very beginning? Why don't you just go there and destroy it?
Yeah.
Because he's role-playing Kronika, who doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
What's the point of this whole...
He corrupted
He's in honor of Kronika. In honor of Kronika. It's actually literally the same. It's like Kronika. You can just grab the crown and reset the universe. Why?
See, that's the thing is, like, with the whole split timeline thing, it would have been way cooler if there was an alternate Kronika from the ending where you lose in MK11.
That was what I thought. That was actually what I thought was going to happen. It's because it's like, oh, maybe that's another branching timeline. But yeah.
You know what I find even funnier, you guys, on the same note but opposite? In the same way that Shang Tsung could have just gone to the hourglass and destroyed it, I found it super funny that in that chapter 14 or 13 moment where Shang Tsung is trying to destroy the hourglass, like one of the heroes walks up. Yeah, one of the heroes walks up and is trying to reverse the damage, and I'm like, why don't you just spear tackle Shang? Like, just do something to knock him down so he can't be doing the hex anymore. Why is your goal to, like, outmaneuver him when you could just tackle his ass?
It's not just that. It's not just that. It's also when, like, Liu Kang was fighting, I forgot, if maybe it was Lemmy or the evil katana, and he gets up and he, like, looks over to Shang Tsung. Oh, no! We have to stop him! Guys, we gotta go and stop him right now. Just go! Do your move!
Shoot him, yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I feel like the most contrived moments in the story are that and the reenactment of the Sindel massacre scene.
Ah, yes! That is
my anger in check during that scene. I did a good job being a nice and, like, calm man the entire time, because some people said in my Aftermath Let's Play that I was a bit too cynical and it ruined the fun for them. So I was trying not to be cynical, and if I was, I'd make it funny. When that scene even got set up, where they're all surrounding Sindel,
like, not again.
And she repeats the line, I went, there is no way the writers are in such a bubble that they're not aware this is the most hated moment from MK9. There is no way they think people will like this coming back. There's no way they don't look just a little bit on social media to see how everyone hates this scene. And it's like most people love MK9, and that's the only hated scene in, like, MK9.
Oh, yeah.
And they brought it back. That is the most inept decision I've ever seen from the current writers. Like, my God, out of all the scenes to not bring back.
So I in my comment section too, on Twitter too, people are just like, it's the worst thing ever. Like, for some people. For me, I was just like, okay, to be fair, the reason why it's the worst is not because Sindel beats everyone, which is bullshit, but it's because she kills everyone. And they didn't go there, at least. They just went, like, everybody doing the Yamato, like, fainting pose that's, like, at the end, which is hilariously bad.
Keep in mind, who is one of the people that is here?
Here.
Fire God Liu Kang.
Yes! That's
how
true.
How does he lose, and how does he not see this and go, oh, I'm familiar with this moment?
Yeah. Well, also, it's worth mentioning to anyone who
actually,
didn't play
he
the
wasn't
game.
there, remember, in MK9, technically speaking.
I know, but he has seen the timelines.
Yeah.
So he knows that this event took place.
Okay.
I'm really shocked.
It's just insane that Sindel just, like, grabs him and, like, flips him, and then he's like, oh no, I'm beaten.
Yeah, it's like,
Fire God Liu Kang, creator of the universe, defeated by being tripped.
He just wanted Mileena to have her moment, so he took a dive.
Exactly.
Like,
you see, this is the part where I complain in my video. Okay, not because I hate Mileena. I just think why Mileena had the moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mileena wins,
epic.
and Fire God Liu Kang couldn't do that.
Which means now you gotta make your little joke again, where it's like Shiva for president, but it's like Mileena for president because she
Mileena for Khan.
wins against Mileena for Khan.
See, the thing is, you know how they could have easily fixed it. You know who also showed up with Raiden and Sindel and then left with Shang Tsung?
Oh, freaking Geras, right, in the background.
freeze time. Freeze time, and like one person is just immune to it.
Yeah.
Maybe like Liu Kang is able to protect Mileena or something, and like somehow that allows her to continue fighting or whatever. There you go. That's how everyone can get beaten up, because Geras can freeze people. Or he just goes around to each of them going freeze, punch, freeze, punch.
That'd be funny.
Geras is very OP
You know,
on paper.
They do often give themselves an easy out and then just fail to take it.
That they straight up just wanted to reference the 1v9 Sindel did. That's literally why they did that moment. They were like, "Remember this? That's right, classic, guys." It's such an iconic scene, right? Yeah, for the wrong reason.
To quote the Fighter's Den, who is Sindel sleeping with on the writing staff at NetherRealm Studios? That she keeps
Although
getting
to be
treatment.
fair though, I wasn't offended. I was laughing. I'm like, "Oh my, not again!" kind of a thing.
I was only
like,
upset because like it's either sheer ineptitude to not know that everyone hated that scene, or it's like a middle finger and saying, "Haha, we're gonna do it again." Because like there's no other in between, in my honest opinion.
Well, that's the thing, is like I kind of have a bit of a feeling about that with the whole Sindel versus Sindel sword fight. For one, it's weird that they have a sword fight.
Yeah, why? Why
I was
swords?
confused.
But then there's the fact that they have this fight between Sindel and an evil Sindel that is technically Twindel, and then Twindel wins.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So was this a middle finger to like all the people who didn't like these weird writing decisions for MK11 and MK9?
I don't know if that's that big of an analogy, but Mileena does come back and like, you know, avenge her mom in a sort of way. So I don't know what that says about that whole situation. Very new Mileena.
Gerard and Sindel are merged in having awesome consciousness sex. So
yeah, technically speaking, Sindel is not dead. She's just in. I was about
They're having
Ermac.
kinky soul sex all the time.
There's a bit of follow up on that in Sindel's ending.
Yeah, you do see it. Basically, she's just alive in Ermac. That's
I'm
basically going to
wondering
be
if-
their
I'm
excuse
wondering
if they're going to bring her back. Technically.
Yeah, I am wondering if we have to wait for Ermac to be released as DLC to find out who killed Jared.
By the way,
Never dropped that
congratulations. Congratulations,
Yes,
Snake.
no,
You literally got that right. You were spot on. The reason why he's not wearing a mask is so it can be more, like, you can see Jared more. You were just spot on about that.
I thought I said that.
I mean, Snake made
We
the
probably
video
both
about it,
said it.
though.
I definitely said it. I'm not sure
Yakuza
if you
moment. He's
did,
like
but-
banging the table and getting up and leaving.
The Yakuza
I will
moment.
say, Ermac looks pretty good
Oh,
in
this
game.
felt good.
Like he looked terrible in that reveal trailer, but during gameplay, his outfit looks fine. I like it.
His
a lot, actually.
outfit
Fits.
looked better. I agree with that. I actually agree with that. I'm sure he'll get a mask, but still, like,
I still don't like the grey skin.
yeah.
I'm also wondering, so because Ermac appears in the story, and that's our first proper exposure to this version of Ermac, will the DLC character be Jared, or will it be like traditional Ermac?
I think might be Ermac because
Mileena in gameplay is the Savage version, the Tarkat version.
Yeah.
But in the actual story, she's not Tarkat all that much.
yeah, that interests me actually. It's like she only uses that when she wants to get. Well, okay, it was in her chapter where she starts to be okay. I'm doing it for the people I care about. In the beginning, she lost control. But now it's like, I'm going to control this anger to fight Raiden and Sindel. So it's like she's learning from that. But yeah.
Interesting touch about that, because it is Tarkat Mileena during gameplay, but here's the funny part. I was playing so much Mileena due to Invasion. She does have one round win animation where she pulls out one of Shang Tsung's syringes and sticks herself to like keep it at bay from taking over. So it's still actually
cool.
good Mileena. She's just in Tarkat mode, but she's still like not evil.
Oh, yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
She's in control, more or less, yeah.
So it's pretty much like a post-story version where she still has the Tarkat. It's just she has a bit better control over
And
it.
good on you, NetherRealm writers, for not doing the cliche thing where Melina's just evil and becomes bad, and everyone reverts to their like normal role. You actually
impressed
didn't
with
let her
that.
become evil. You actually let her stay good the
You
entire
see,
time.
we
Thank
predicted
you.
about obviously Scorpion and Sub-Zero are gonna split up. They're gonna like have a quarrel.
Yeah, that's something I thought was a real shame. The fact that they did go in that direction. That Bihan is evil, and he's going to fight Scorpion, and then Scorpion goes off and forms a shared ID, which I predicted. Even though it makes no sense that this Chinese ninja warrior is gone to Japan to make a Japanese ninja clan.
To be fair,
why not just do another Chinese one?
To be fair, he went to Japan to look for his friend. So maybe she's the one who forms the Shiraryu more, and like she's the one who suggests the name and whatnot.
Well, They do actually address where the name comes from.
I kind of forgot about that.
It's just really in Scorpion's ending. It's just really weird the way they do it. I'm not gonna say what it is, just so you guys can experience it yourself.
I've seen all the arcade endings. I guess I forgot about that.
And listen, even though it's shameful that Bihan just goes full evil and betrays like his entire realm, it's even more shameful that he gets done in by like 2 of the henchmen. That part made me laugh super hard.
Yeah, the henchmen's like come in.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be a joke. He gets smacked in the face like, oh, and then goes, you motherfuckers, and gets back up or whatever. But no, that knocks him down, and he's down for the count. And one of them like goes, bink, bink, and just whacks him a couple of times to make sure like, stay down, fucker. And he's like, oh.
Bihang and Kuai get brought down by just henchmen, just regular soldiers.
After defeating the big bads, like General
Shake,
Shao
yeah, they
and stuff,
defeated Shake and Quan Chi, that's right.
By henchmen. Jobbers in this story mode are hilarious because not only did they lose, but an even more shocking defeat was in Baraka's chapter where they're all destroying the Tarkat like flesh pit monsters, but then off screen they're just captured and thrown into the little containers. I'm like, what? They lost? Johnny Cage lost to random mutants in the background. Are we serious? Kung Lao and they all lost?
Kung Lao didn't. Do not. It's only Johnny. It was only Johnny. Do not bring Kung Lao's name to shame.
Oh, well, they all got captured though.
No, it was only Johnny and Kenshi. Kenshi, he's blind, and Johnny was the only one.
Kung Lao.
Yes, Kung Lao fights with Baraka. Okay, do not put Kung Lao's name in shame. Adur, yeah, Kenji's just a blind guy. Like literally, of course he's gonna lose there.
Well, that's what I thought so too. I was like, oh, poor Kenji's blinded.
But let me mention something here. But yeah, like I was saying, it's like the Scorpion Sub-Zero thing was so obvious, but the Mileena actually becoming her own character. Awesome! Like I actually wanted to see that for years. So like that's how a lot of people wanted to see. Of course, there's a notion of being like, are they doing this because they just want to get like dragged by the Mileena stands? But I mean, who cares? I like Mileena. I want to see things like this for them too. But the one thing I want to mention is I mentioned this a couple times before in the podcast. I think in the Paris episode, I was like, there aren't a lot of villains in the story mode. It's like if you really think about it and the roster. So like, how is this gonna go? Is it just gonna be like a giant misunderstanding? And at the end, it was like, oops. There are just villains, and guess what? We're gonna fight them again and again and again. Rain's gonna get beat up, Shane's gonna get beat up, Shao's gonna get beat up, until the plot twist where finally, okay, we can finally start bringing alternate universe characters to get beat up.
Yeah, because most of the traditional villains like Mileena, Tanya, Reptile, Baraka, they're good guys now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's only a small pool of characters that it's almost like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, where there's only you fight the villains, you rarely fight the heroes. Yep. So most of it you're just fighting villains and generics, which is unfortunate. Honestly, I feel like with how much good there is in this universe now, it almost feels more like an epilogue. Like this is the ending of it, of the setup. This is what Liu Kang has achieved. Hooray! Now then we'd move on to a more traditional thing, but with the whole multiverse setup, obviously that's what we're gonna. Focus on. This is the thing I forgot to mention before is the fact that I think it would have been better if the final chapter, like if the story ended with the Liu Kang and Shang Tsung fight at the Hourglass, and then the pyramid stuff is just part of the post game in Invasions, kind of like how the newest Modern Warfare game, when the first one for the reboots, that story is continued in the Warzone Battle Royale mode. And so they set up that plot in there. So I feel like because the pyramid stuff, it feels like a weird.
It's a different mode.
You don't feel like a. Yeah, the pyramid just feels like it feels out of place with the way it's structured. But if that was just like the climax of this other mode where you can just play as anyone and just bring up your alternate universe version of the character, that would have been really cool.
So you're saying it's. So you're saying it's kind of like Deception, where like at the end of Deception, Onaga is back. Haha. I tricked you. I'm gonna screw the world. And Shujin goes like, okay, what do I do? Well, I guess you'll find out in his arcade ending. Is that sort of like what you're like kind of feeling? Kind of,
or like not in really the inverse. It's the same. It's like you finish the story mode and then it leads into this other thing. Except that here, the story mode is the main story, whereas in Deception it was like that was the lead up to this stuff. It just feels a bit off to have that stuff so suddenly. I also think. If the characters are going to be alternate versions that we know nothing about, instead of being the ones in the normal story, the least they could do is let us use our customized version of the character.
You mean like in the... Oh, okay.
Like imagine you're there like, I want to play Johnny Cage. And you pick Johnny Cage, and there's just Jean-Claude Van Damme stood there like, yeah, I'm going to help out.
But I think at least like if they're in universe, like you say Johnny Cage, like I think those should be the in universe versions because we have been following this character through the story.
Yeah.
But like you said, you pick Sub-Zero and it's a different Sub-Zero. Like then that actually kind of makes sense. Like picking your own skin. If they clearly say go to this next mode to get the ending, then yeah, perhaps, because I really do think, because in my opinion, when they start the multiverse shenanigans, as much as I was enjoying it, it was shit. Like in terms of a plot like point, it was like this is just like really going into like shit right now. And even that whole like Armageddon like chapter, on like a story level of speaking, this is like bad, but it was so entertaining and so awesome that I kind of just like I loved it, even though like technically it is bad, but I just so I did think that I needed that Armageddon mode. I needed that Armageddon mode for me to be like whoop, okay, back to like kind of liking the story.
Yeah, so I think that would actually helps with the actual reception of the story if that was separated off from the main story. The main story ends, Liu Kang defeats Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung's like, I'll get you next time, Liu Kang, in invasions mode, and then he fucks off, and Liu Kang's like, well, I guess we're heading off to invasions mode now. Let's go kick his ass.
I don't know about that. You know why? Because you have to play through okay, imagine if Invasions was in season though, and you had to go through all the 6 like stages, and then at the very end you get that pyramid fight. That would be awesome, but you have to go through a lot of stuff just to get there. I don't know.
Old school gaming, baby. Back when you had to work for your like
work for your ending, you know.
Your true ending.
It'd take a while to get to like the part where you were gonna like really get to the whole stuff.
I like the Armageddon part. The only part I didn't like was when like it got kind of silly. Like the first couple guys I fought were like, oh, this is kind of cool. But then when I saw Quan-Chi, Mileena, weird gender bend thing, I was like, this is just getting stupid. Now they're kind of like making fun of their own ending at this point because there's like no stakes. It's all goofy. And of course, like everyone who played it, I thought somebody watched the Avengers Marvel movie or somebody watched Endgame.
Oh yeah, this is Endgame of Moral Kombat.
It has the exact same tone and everything. I also noticed that on a technical level, your character's never like allowed to use their powers in the cutscenes because like that'd be too much work. They probably just all do the same punches and kicks, so they never do anything extra.
Like Reptile in the cutscenes constantly turned into his lizard form, just straight up, okay, lizard form time. He never does that in the fight. He just does like fight and stuff like that. To me, I think I really just want to see Shao fighting those 3 Mileenas because it's like in the fight, it's like you grab Mileena and the person uses like Mileena's size to like kill the other like Mileenas. Just imagining Shao do that. Kill Mileena, yeah, kill the other Mileenas, stuff like that.
Yep. Speaking of which, man, the way Kenshi got blinded, huh? That shocked me. I knew it was going to happen.
Very brutal.
And I thought Mileena would do it, but the fact that it was a move that like should have killed anybody because it's right through his eyeballs, like the size deep in there. It's also especially funny when you brought up Sindel's death because she dies from what I thought was like a normal wound in the Mortal Kombat universe. Like that should have just been like, ow, that hurt, I'll walk it off. But it's like, no, she's dying. And you'll
I literally was seeing that scene. I was literally seeing that scene. I'm like, oh, she's fine. It's like it's Mortal Kombat. Oh, she died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's wild because she's the only one from the main universe who dies.
Yeah.
Only one. No one else gets killed.
It's because Mileena and Katana aren't allowed to have both parents. If one comes back, one has to go. It's like How to Train Your Dragon logic. You can't have both parents.
Technically speaking, she's alive in Ermac. That's gonna be the excuse.
True.
Have you guys played Phoenix Wright? Do you know that game?
Yeah.
So do you know like Mia Fey constantly comes back from like Maya Fey? She's gonna do that with Ermac's body. Hi daughters, I'm also here. Have a nice day. I'm gonna turn it back to Jared now. Oh, okay, I'm back now.
Oh. That was weird.
Something like that.
Get this girl out of me.
But I
never get a moment's peace away from Sindel. She's constantly talking to me. Dear God. It's like being stuck on a really long plane flight with your spouse. And they just never stop talking to you because there's nothing else to do.
I gotta ask the Sindel stand here. What did you think about how they handled Sindel in the story, Moa?
Well, obviously, the way she's presented character-wise at first, it really, really feels like they are setting up she's still evil. Even if she's at odds with Shao, it still feels like they're setting up she's going to be evil. But it's more just a case of... It feels like more one of the cases where NetherRealm has genuinely looked at like the fan response and been like, okay, clearly the retcon was a bad idea, but a lot of people did like the new personality, and so they kind of blended the two together into one. So she has more of this domineering personality, but she's still a good person at heart. And it's justified by the narrative because of how much shit's going on. She has to worry about the tournament, the Xiao being like, let's go to war.
Yeah.
Her daughter's infected. There's the tensions with the Earthrealmers are getting strained.
Exactly, yeah.
And so there's a lot that it's easy to look at it and go, she's under a lot of stress right now. That's why she's so short with Mileena and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so it does genuinely work. It's not the way I would have gone with it, but it's definitely a massive step up from what they had last time.
Yeah. Like, I like her. Yeah, basically.
I thought overall it was good. Hopefully, this will like stop dipshits from saying that Sindel was a boring character when she was a good guy. Because she wasn't. It's just that she didn't have lengthy cutscenes where she could express her personality. That's one of the issues that the older games had, and it's one of the things that's why it's such a it's so sad when the newer games just don't deliver, because they have so many opportunities to flesh out these characters and really present the personalities, but a lot of the time what they give us is dog shit. It's a game that literally just had some old man explaining, this is what Sindel did at the end of the story, even though it's not canon, because someone else does it. I do it. And like, even that was better than a lot of the stuff that we get. But honestly, this game's writing was pretty good. I mean, Johnny and Kenchi's friendship was fantastic. Yeah. So good. I wish Quietly Angered Smoke got that much done with them. They're barely in the story.
We may not be brothers, but we share blood. Yeah, that's cool.
Somebody needs to turn that.
Stay aside, Smoke.
Scene.
I'm gonna fight Quietly. Sorry, Bihan.
Someone's got to turn that one scene into a meme. It's like perfect meme format material of Hanzo putting his hand on Smoke's like shoulder to confide in them. There's like a blizzard in front of them, and the blizzard fades, and Bihan's just standing there like upset.
Yeah.
That needs to be a meme. Like me, my best friend, my old best friend I haven't called in 2 years, like just standing there or some shit. Like there's just so much potential for that. Or like me gaming for 10 hours. The homework assignment due tomorrow, and that's Bihan.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like the the meme of like the guy turning around going ooh when he sees that girl going past.
Yeah.
And it's like Bihan is the vengeful thing you're ignoring, or you put away. So like Scorpion is Netherrealm, Smoke is like classic Sindel, Bihan is Twindel in the background. Like
like how dare you. There was actually one scene that I thought was super funny when talking about Sindel, was like when Liu Kang revealed being like, okay, time to explain, like, I was from MK11 and this is what happened in MK11. Here is the cutscene. You see Kronika here. You literally see evil Sindel, like Twindel, just basically going up to Shao Kahn, that scene. And part of me was to like feel like when the Sindel saw that scene, I bet she's like, me and Shao? What? And I just feel like that scene that would be funny.
She doesn't have much of a response to learning you were evil.
Yeah.
In prior timelines.
Yep. Like I said, everyone reacts.
Her response was like, "So, do you want me to like bow down to you or something?"
Yeah, it was pretty well. I quite like the way the dynamic was done.
Yeah.
It is funny though how when they show the footage from MK11, it highlights the fact that Sindel's face has changed so much, where she was clearly white and now she's Asian. And it's like with Kronika it's whatever. She does look most of the same, and you barely see her in this game anyway. But with Sindel, it's like it cuts back and forth between them. It's like it's clearly a different face.
It's a very different Sindel, yeah. One part that I thought was really funny was again, another thing you got right, Snake, because they straight up just confirm it. Because in the arcade ending of MK11, it's like, because I remember I was asking, what the frick is Kronika's motive? Why is she doing everything she's doing in MK11? She's just doing it. It's like she doesn't have a motive. And you were like, well, maybe it's because in the Geras arcade ending, Kronika reset time so many times that she basically just gone mad. And then they said that too. Kronika reset time so many times that she's gone mad. And that's why I gave up my godhood powers, because I don't want to become like that. It's like, oh, they straight up confirmed that. So that was like, and in that scene where it's like Kronika kept resetting time, they kept doing this. In that scene.
Yeah. The thing is, most of those shots aren't even her messing with time. Most of the show is her going, attack!
Yes, it's like,
the Revenants
go my Revenants! That scene is so funny because if you notice when she does like, get them! And it's like, you see them like running up and start fighting. Kronika, if you look in the background, you just see Kronika do this. Get them!
And she just
stays like that for like 10 seconds.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a good thing that Garrus is like a construct and not technically a regular human being, because if he was, and Liu Kang said, okay, Garrus, I'm not going to do the hourglass because I know that it drives people insane. So, wink, wink. And Garrus is like, no, please. I've already been alive for like a million resets. Please, no more hourglass. I was just free. Here you go, buddy. And like shackles him to it. No!
I will say, actually, I think Garrus got a glow up in this game. Like, despite the fact that he's never playable, like, his character got a bit of a glow up a lot more compared... Oh, it's not much saying, because he was literally just, like, a weapon, a jobber in MK11, but he kind of just felt like Liu Kang's right-hand man, like, actually felt like his buddy in this story mode.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed that.
I want to say this. So, that video series I started, where I go over each NetherRealm story mode and, like, see who wins and loses. I can give you a little preview of one of the things that Garrus actually is going to be 0-1. In this game, because Nitara beats the shit out of him.
The evil Nitara, yeah. He gets saved by Liu Kang, or who saves him? I forgot.
I don't remember. Someone does. I think it's Kitana. Then Liu Kang's like, heal up, friend.
That
also,
that's it. But like, even though we never play as him, we never fight him, he still loses a fight.
I will say,
like,
you go ahead.
I missed my chance kind of for this to be topical, but earlier Snake implied like, oh, evil Sindel kills good Sindel is like a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge from the writers, like our version better. I noticed that a lot of the evil versions of the good characters, specifically the women, but also the men, are all more naked. Like, they're all showing more skin. And I'm like, what are you trying to say, NetherRealm, that only bad people show skin? Like, what?
That Mileena skin was definitely like, I was just looking at her like, whoa! I was like, whoa, I can't... that's insane. I was like, oh, that's a really interesting skin, too.
The Nitara one too, the Season of Fire Nitara skin is like big old cleavage. So
oh really? Yeah. I was gonna say something. Oh, I remember now. This is okay. You're gonna try to do the win-loss thing, right, Snake? But here's the thing that really interests me. How are you going to explain the cameo fighters in the story mode? Because straight up, there are fights that are like, okay, Raiden was frozen by Bihan, but then he still shows up as a cameo fighter. Tanya was hurt, but she still shows up as a cameo fighter. So they're probably not actually fighting together in that scene or something like that. But then you get to like Shang Tsung's chapter, and straight up it's like Shang and Quan Chi fighting, two people walking up to them, so it's a 2v2. It's like, that's where things start to get really complicated, because in that scene, like, yes, it's implied two people are fighting two people. It's not like this cameo is not canon in this fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is where things get kind of complicated. Yeah, like who gets the win?
I think I would have to just look at it and go, look at the cut scenes. Is the character like actually depicted in the scene?
Yeah.
Like when Scorpion fights Havoc, like Darius is in the scene with him, so I'm pretty sure that counts as a Darius loss.
Yeah, yeah.
But whereas like there are quite a few where that's not the case. Again, Kenshi clearly didn't reach Reptile by that one fight. He's not there. That doesn't count as a Kenshi win.
However, at the very end of the fight, you see like when Reptile is saying his quip, Kenshi will be behind Reptile.
Yeah, because the first one Kenshi's just arrived.
Oh, you're gonna look at it like that? Okay.
Yeah. So there's going to be a degree of subjectivity as it goes on, and one thing that's going to complicate it is when it comes to alternate versions. So I think the way I'm going to approach it is like with Injustice, it'll be so they're going to do individual counts for say Regime Batman, Prime Batman, and then one for both together. And then they'll have to factor in. I also plan to, as it goes on, be like, well, hey, how are the characters doing so far? Like, we've got 2 of these stories now. How's Scorpion doing? Total. How's Sub-Zero doing? And then eventually get to the end where it's like, oh, Scorpion's won 800,000 fights, lost quite a few as well. And then here's Garrus, who just literally never won a fight.
At least, the thing that made the series a lot more interesting, in my opinion, because it's like, okay, Garrus never wins a fight, so he should be the bigger loser or so, but no, it's a ratio thing. We're looking at the ratio of characters win-loss.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's even, yeah.
I also need to own up to the fact that, so when I originally released it for patrons, someone pointed out that, because I put that Lex was the winner at 5-3.
Uh-huh.
But then someone observed that the Flash also gets 5-3. So okay, so went back and edited it, and that's it. Then after I released the episode publicly, someone pointed out Liu Kang was also 5-3. So it's a 3-way tie.
Oh.
So I wish people would point these things out sooner, so I could notice. Because I'm a bit. I'm kind of retarded. So I wish people could help me notice these things, because these things can slip by, unfortunately. Like sometimes you are, you're just copying from your script into the subtitles, and you accidentally copy the audio file name instead. And so Sindel says MK12 a sequence of numbers.
Oh, that was so funny. I think we all had. I had a reaction of laughing at that too. I saw Murdoig too. Did you laugh at that? Did you say that true?
My tweet about that got like 3,000 likes.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
A lot of people looking at that and going, yeah, I thought I was the only one who got that. I thought it was a glitch. So I'm thinking, it can't be a glitch. It must just be someone fucked up and copy-pasting the text over. And then, even though subtitles are on by default, nobody play-tested it with the subtitles on, I guess.
It's one of those things where, because there's too many, so they just literally accidentally forgot about one of them, which...
But apparently there were a few others. I think
there was?
Reptile and Ashrah, I think a conversation between Reptile and Ashrah in the story has one as well.
I only noticed one. I only noticed the Sindel one, actually. I didn't notice any more other ones.
So it's like...
Oh wait, did you say in the intro dialogue?
No, apparently it's in the story.
Okay.
Because it's the thing where you have to test it. You have to play test with the subtitles on to make sure the timing's right.
Yeah.
That they all work. So how did nobody notice? It's so strange.
It is very funny though. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, my fan. I got a fan art that I got just sent here. I just talked about the Reptile X Ashrah thing going on, and it's like someone just sent this.
Oh no. Just like pure infatuation.
Well, here's a question. Does Ashrah still have her demon form?
Nah, I don't think so. Yeah. Well, I mean, she can go dark, you know.
Would she shift into a demon form and fuck lizard reptile?
Oh no.
Hey, do not give me ideas in my head like that. Don't you dare.
Also, suck your mom, okay? All of you, go suck it, because I was right. She kills demons in the forest, not Tarkots.
But, I mean, I know...
They are Tarkots.
Aren't those the flesh pit Tarkots?
But she even tries to attack Baraka thinking he's a demon.
Yeah, but, like, she thought they were demons. But the models are exactly the same as the flesh pit Tarkots.
Ashrah has been known to make mistakes. Like the reason she has a rivalry with Ermac is because she thought Ermac was a demon in Deception.
Yep. When you said that in the video, Tronadog, I was like, but they look exactly like the flesh pit dark. Okay. Go off, Queen.
And they did just escape there too, technically, so that could totally be them. Well, I'm right in the sense that she thinks they're demons, which is weird.
There you go.
I don't get why she'd think that, but it's whatever.
Actually, I mean, we just talked about a bit of Ashrah and Nitara, but I mean, like, they definitely kind of took the the neutral stance of Ashrah and Nitara in the story mode, and just literally turned Ashrah into a big good guy and Nitara into a big bad guy. It seemed like this time. It's been unfortunate because that's one of the things I really liked about the old lore. But because of that, like, Ashrah is more of a character now, at least. They do make her more of a character, which is cute. I like her fish out of water, like, nisms with her, like, mannerisms and stuff like that. You see a lot more in her intro dialogues too.
It's funny how she pulled the Dante DMC thing, but no one got mad about it. They all thought it was funny. Where she puts on, like, the iconic hat, and she goes, like, she couldn't have found a more functional hat. Like, she doesn't like it. Whereas what fans would have probably preferred is if she was like, this is amazing. What do you humans call this? A hat? I love it. I love my hat.
She does like the compliment Johnny gave her, though.
Yeah, I think that's why it's why people don't mind, is because Johnny's basically like flirting, like, you know what, I think it really suits you. Did she even smile?
Yeah, Ashrah's like,
it's like, so it's not like she's not going, not a million years.
Yeah,
and everyone's like, yeah, you show him.
There was also
it's like the character thinks he's dumb, whereas DMC's like, yes, this is dumb. Old Dante is dumb. You go, Dante. Here it's like no, Ashrah, you're dumb. The hat's very good. We're gonna have our lovely Johnny Cage here say, actually. He comes in with an actually.
I always thought that Dante saying "not in a million years" is more like of just a funny in joke, because he has to have the white hair by the end anyway. Like, his hair turns white, so it's like he thought it looked dumb, but like he's doomed to it anyway.
I think it is. It's just that when combined with, like, the comments made by the director of the game, who also looks a fair bit like Reboot Dante. It gives off the vibe of of all thing bad, new thing good. It really gives off that vibe, unfortunately.
Damn,
I did find it really funny at when they're trying to like run away in the scene. You see Ashrah with her hat, and she had to be like, oh, like, put the hat like,
the wind. The amount of times I've lost a hat to freaking wind is so frustrating. I forgot they do that. It just sucked right off.
I do actually still wish she will have that hat. I mean, Sub-Zero has that Mexican skin, so I assume that she will eventually get that giant hat. She has a smaller hat skin, and she looks good in that. But I actually still want a big old hat. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that the festival outfit will have a white color scheme that just looks like the Deception one.
It better.
Oh yeah! I want all the festival outfits. They're all fun.
It's gonna be
the models exist in the game. There's no reason not to include them.
Yeah, you fight Katana in her festival outfit too. Yeah, I was like, because in the trailer you don't see it.
I know that that NetherRealm doesn't always do that. Like the Osh-Tech disguises for Liu Kang Kung Lao, even though Combat League had an Osh-Tech themed season. Even then, you know.
I have to assume that they will this time, because it seems like there's a lot of rewards with invasions and seasons and like emphasis on unlocking things. Because like, okay, I was wondering like, oh, how many skins are we gonna give these characters? And when you see the pyramid scene, it's like, oh, the possibility seems quite high, like the amount of things and whatnot.
I mean, Modoink has gone through and found. I'm sorry, if Modoink ever sees this, please tell us how you actually pronounce Modoink, because it doesn't sound right to me. So maybe it's Murdo Inc. Who knows? But please let us know.
MK Warehouse.
Yeah, he's when he went through, like he made like a tally of all of this. It's like 500 skins or something total.
I think 700 or something like that. Yeah,
that's so impressive.
Yeah, like. It counts the alternate colors, obviously, but like that's a lot.
I think someone says it's like each character has like 20 skins.
So that's why training mode isn't quite finished. They've been busy making skins for every single character. Also,
let's go back to one. We just went back to one.
So
it's now my personal.
I don't think Johnny has a shirtless costume other than the Jean-Claude Van Damme one.
That's all we need, baby. That's all we need.
I'm sure he will have one at least. But I mean, I like his tuxedo and his Indiana Jones costume, anyways.
Yep. I was gonna say it's my headcanon now that like Ashrah is like Doom Guy, but she thinks that everything that's not a human is a demon. Like if she saw Syzoth beforehand, she'd be like, "Demon," and just like run and start trying to kill him. He's like a big lizard man. Yeah. She thought Baraka was a demon.
Well, one of the things is that the in the old lore is that her sword does like manipulate. I mean, it was mainly just to make to try and kill
basically
the vampires.
cut that. Yeah, unfortunately.
Well. We don't know that for sure. It could still be the case.
Maybe, but they
Tara
really
doesn't
don't
know what it is in their
that.
opening dialogue, but that's it. She like knows what the sword is, and she's like, "I'm gonna tear it from your hands." But yeah,
that Chris killed vampires or something like that. I forgot what she said.
it just sounds funny to me. If she thought Baraka was a demon, just because he, I mean, we see Ashrah,
looks like that,
and she's from the NetherRealm. We see Serena. So she should know what demons look like. So it's still funny to me that she just thinks everyone's a demon.
To be fair, like we only see like Serena, but like there could be like demons that look like the MK11 demons and stuff like that.
That's why it's funny though. I love the idea that Ashrah just thinks that any malformed looking creature is like automatically a demon, and she just starts a fight with it.
She fights Baraka and like Syzoth. Like, oh, Reptile, you look a demon.
I could even see her like looking at Natara and being like, "Flying demon," like going to kill her.
Just demon. Everything is a demon.
Demon has wings.
I was when that fight happens, I was honestly expecting it to be that you'd fight Baraka as Ashrah, but it's the other way around. So Baraka just beats her.
Yeah. Yeah, Baraka gets a
shit on.
I can't believe that there was a story mode like because MK11 tried but didn't really go there. But I liked Baraka in this story mode. I never thought I'd say that ever. It's like he's kind of cool. It's like I kind of like this character.
I was a merchant.
Yeah,
still not
he's
explained why he's
Adenian.
such a badass fighter. Adenian is cool.
That's the thing. Like that's like the one time they mention Edenia. What is Edenia now?
It's part of Outworld. Because right after he says I'm Edenian, I'm Zaterian, Outworlders. So literally, it's part of Outworld now. Apparently,
like, what exactly? I mean, how is Outworld an empire exactly? We still don't know. Is it just that it's the unified countries? But like that's how the realms normally are. So like the whole realm is just under one rule. Earth is just weird that it doesn't do that. So I don't know. So how is it an empire?
I wonder if that case, if Sato is now part of Outworld too. Just straight up, oh, it's another town in Outworld. Who knows? Maybe it's just Outworld and Earthrealm, and the NetherRealm's hell, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I guess is now time to finally talk about what we predicted.
That's
sure.
That's to keep in mind. We are on the 2-hour mark, so it's like, how about we end it on
Yeah.
this then? Because I don't mind turning this whole part into an episode. What else? We already talked about some things we did predict successfully.
I predict like pretty much the entire flow of the story for the first half.
You only unsuccessfully you didn't get the Sub-Zero part right though. The Lin Kuei mission part. That happens after everything else.
I got the fact that that scene is from his chapter.
Yeah.
It's just that the timing of it is, because I was expecting the Lin Kuei to have a bigger role in the story than
2
basically
chapters.
nothing.
Yeah.
So they're just like, that's later. And also, I predicted that Sub-Zero would fight Rain, but because I didn't predict that sequence would be split into 2 chapters for Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
So there were some stuff like that that got wrong, but like even down to like Kenshi will have a chapter where he gets blinded while dealing with the Tar Cat. Even got stuff like that right.
Yeah.
So I'm quite proud of myself for that.
You were. I would say you pretty much got Act 1 through 3. Up to like Mileena's chapter, basically everything around there was all right, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that Mileena, from that point on, it's like it does. Wait, actually, from the Sindel chapter, from that point on, it does become a bit unpredictable as to where things go.
Yeah.
But you also got the Shang like one right too. That was like, oh, that's an interesting. You got that from the first trailer. That's what I'm impressed with. It's like that. Oh, it's Shang. It must be another Shang from the other universe coming to invade. It's like, okay, it's a crazy theory, but it actually happened.
Yep.
I'm still proud of my MKT. I'm gonna let that live up.
I got a bit of a prediction that I was proud of for being right. So people theorized because we knew for a fact that Quan Chi was in the game because we saw him like in the background of some of the trailers by accident. They're like,
yeah,
well, we think Ermac's also going to be in the game, and that led to a theory that Ermac and Quan Chi were originally going to be on the base roster, but just it wasn't realistic to get them finished on time, so they got pushed to DLC. That could be. Not 100% sure on that, but could be. My theory was, actually, I think that every character, aside from the guests in Combat Pack 1, is going to show up in story mode. I just think they're all going to be there. And then when the Kronika got revealed, I'm like, yeah, now Takeda can totally show up, for whatever reason. I didn't think he'd be running down the pyramid as, like, the opposition and get, like, brutally torn through. But, hey, there he is. I was right. Every Combat Pack character showed up in the story mode at some point.
Technically, you're right. The other thing that I was very impressed with you is, like, you were saying, like I think you were playing, I forgot it was Johnny's chapter or something like that. You were like, oh no, it was like later on. It's like, oh, I like how Johnny's naming like the flesh pits Sonado and stuff like that. So it's like, and you were like, yeah, imagine if he starts like turning this into like his names for his like make it a little like movie franchise or something like that. It's like,
yeah,
oh, you straight up, that is actually what happens at the end. He's making movies of Mortal Kombat. I do find it funny that Liu Kang's like, we gotta keep it all secrecy. I don't want the human realm to know about this until the very end. He's like, but yeah, I'm not telling them about this. But Madame Bo is just putting posters about Mortal Kombat all over T's shop, basically. Mortal Kombat tournament! Hey, Mortal Kombat T!
I did chuckle a bit whenever Shao Kahn tried to act like they would steamroll Earthrealm. Like, someone needs to educate Shao on what nukes are and how dangerous Earthrealm would actually be if we were like, wait, a whole new realm? Do they have oil? It's like, does our world happen to have a bunch of oil? Because if they do,
that's what they say.
I'm just getting flashbacks to, I think it's
Sonya's intro, yeah.
Scarlet.
It is Sindel.
2 words, bitch. Nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of funny how Sony's allowed to call Sindel whoever a bitch. Johnny says, bitch, and Kung Lao's like, what?
Excuse me? that scene, okay, I think that is an amazing reference, but I didn't get it at the moment. It took me like 6 hours to be like, oh shit, that's actually, I know that reference, because I did watch that.
Now, here's the weird part. The weird part is, they go out of their way to make clear this is what film he's talking about, but without saying the name.
Yep.
So where he's even like, Ripley, and an impression of Newt. Then later on he says, I didn't expect you to go full Predator.
Yeah.
And the subtitles capitalize the P in Predator, so they can name drop Predator but not Alien.
Well, I mean, it depends. It depends on what. Maybe Ripley's more popular than Alien. Saying Alien, I guess. I don't know.
But both are owned by the same studio. Like,
Yeah.
why is one allowed but not the other? And both have been in Mortal Kombat. It's so strange.
I think they just thought it'd
It's
be
a
funnier
small
to say
thing.
Ripley instead of Alien.
Yeah.
Also, Maximilian Dude named his daughter Ripley, which is so cute.
Yeah. That's adorable.
Yeah.
I love this video where he was playing Street Fighter, and it's like, I forgot who he's playing, but he was getting his ass kicked by like a Kami fighter, and like the daughter was like, Okay, just a second, honey. I'm trying to beat this Cammy. Just a second, honey. It's okay. And everyone in the comment section is like, she knows that her dad just can't win, so she's already asking him to leave.
One of my favorite Max memes actually is because obviously Max is often like compared to Ken because of his long blonde hair, so people will mod him over Ken. And so remember in one of the Street Fighter 3 games, Ken's ending is that he's teaching his son Mel how to fight, and Mel smacks him in the cock, and he's like, oh, and then he's like, and people are joking that that's going to be Max and Ripley in like a couple of years, where she's going to whack him in the dick, and he'll be like,
good job.
Good job. Yep. But that's my main prediction.
Anyway.
What else did we predict? I kind of forgot if we predicted anything else.
I was surprised Katana didn't get a chapter.
I was so surprised about that too, yeah.
I was more surprised about Smoke.
Yeah, Smoke is... Not only that, I think Katana, despite not being a chapter, at least she felt like a caring sister. That was like her character. Smoke literally just got like, stay here, Smoke. I got my brotherly moment with like Sub-Zero, and
I laughed super hard when Smoke was falling over the wall and tried for a split second to like Spider-Man stick to the wall. I was like, oh wait, that doesn't work. And then he tries to like stick his hands. I was like, what was his thought process?
Because you're a lone fall.
Oh, I wonder if that is a reference to that. That'd be funny.
Oh,
I wonder if that's a reference to that.
If that is, then I'm the idiot. Yeah, that's funny.
Someone
also,
did
they almost
mention
fake killed him, which scared me. I actually jumped when the brick fell over the wall and was like going right for him. I was like, no, don't kill Smoke in such a lame way. But
yeah. There's no way he would have been killed like that. Yeah.
It's kind of funny how we're playing Sub-Zero for this fight. So why have Scorpion be the cameo when you could just have Scorpion be like, I'm going to throw my rope down and pull Smoke up, and I'm going to, you know, like how when Takeda slips in MKX, and then Jackie spends the first fight of Cassie's chapter helping him up. So why not do that here where Scorpion is busy trying to pull Smoke up with his spear while Sub-Zero's fighting Natara? But no, they both just leave him to figure it out himself.
Sub-Zero could have just used his Ice Elemental cameo to fight.
That cracked me up. The Elemental was such a funny little...
Yeah, I was like, when I played Raiden, and then the Electricity Elemental was like, oh, here's my new best friend then. Let's go, Electric Elemental, get him! Get him, my best friend!
It's so weird. I guess with Raiden, they just didn't want to limits his kit too much because like you spend the first 3 fights without most of his best moves until he gets the amulet. So I guess they didn't want to repeat that by not giving him a cameo. But like, why have Scorpion use the fire elemental? What would be made way more sense?
No, Smoke.
Smoke was like, this is taking too long. I'm gonna bust in and help out.
Anything really? No, Smoke. I must do this alone with my best friend, Fire Elemental.
Listen, Smoke. It's cool that you're back. But stay the fuck out of my way. I'm going to do all the stuff without you. You are there to look adorable in the background. Okay, Smoke?
You're just my little cinnamon boy. You're everyone's cinnamon boy. That's all you're here for, basically.
But at least he gets to show up, unlike Sector and Cyrax, who are name drops. And it's like, they're loyal to Bihan. I'm like,
he is in...
They exist.
He is in the arcade ending, at least, Sector.
I just realized that Kuai Liang's scar is a canon event.
yeah, basically.
Like, it was cool when it happened. I like that scene because, like, not just because of like how it happens, but even just the fake out of like them fighting over the head, and then he's like, "Wait, where'd the knife go?" And then like gets him to the other side. I was like, "Oh, that's fucked up." It's like a little trick. He pulled a little knife trick on him. Although it's Sub-Zero, so theoretically he could have just been like, ice on your feet, you know, like ice through your toes. Like he could do whatever he wants.
I think it would have been cool if that knife fight, because Smoke also has a knife in gameplay. If all 3 were in this like knife fight, and Sub-Zero's just like really good with it. Like picture the Leon and Krauser knife fight in Resident Evil 4.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But it's like a 2-on-1, and so Sub-Zero's just there like.
Yeah, and Smoke is very proficient with the knife and showing off. Like in his intro, it's like really cool just showing off like that.
All that matters is that History Behind the Warriors prediction was wrong. He predicted that Scorpion would already be trying to leave and go against his brother, and then Smoke would aid him, but then Bihan would end up killing Smoke, and that'd be like that straw that broke the camel's back. And Kuai Liang would be like, "No, I can't. I have to leave for sure now because you killed our brother." But luckily, Smoke was not the sacrificial lamb. Instead, Smoke was just there. He's just a guy.
Smoke was just a guy standing there.
You know what would have been a really cool thing to do? It's just in hindsight, but since Raiden gets an undeservedly high amount of fights, how interesting would it have been if in the testing part when the humans are fighting to see who will be the champion of Mortal Kombat, how interesting would it have been if you actually played as his opponents, but the AI is set to like ultra hard mega difficulty, so beating Raiden is like impossible, and you're just like, wow, Raiden really has stepped up. Like, this man's smacking us all around. Like, I can't beat him with anybody. I couldn't beat him
what
with
happens
Kenshi,
if you
couldn't beat him
win,
with
though?
Johnny. You still lose.
Oh, it's like a cutscene. It shows like you get like you still lose. Like I won.
It's like in DCU when Joker beats Batman. He's like, haha, I won, and Batman's just like taser. But it's Raiden's just like.
That's also
Something
one
like
more
that.
problem I wanted to mention earlier, but it's not that big of a deal. But to me, it is. I hate how even when you win the fight, the cutscene after implies that like it was like no big deal, like nothing. Like even when Raiden beats like Shao Kahn, it's like, can I help you up, milady? It looks like he didn't get hurt at all. There could have been at least some fights where like after you win, they're like, fuck, whoa, that was a tough fight, man. Holy shit.
like even Shang Tsung in MK9 when Kung Lao beats him and Quan Chi is like holding his gut when he gets up.
Yeah.
He's like, that was a tough fight.
My hernia.
Well, mostly in
Play it here.
NRS games, it's like when they win a fight, it's just like full HP, everything's good, Gucci.
It was one of those things where a lot of the time when a character loses in another round fight, they just evaporate. Like when Rain is beaten, we never see his body. Same with Shao in that same scene.
Yeah.
They just don't exist anymore.
Yep.
Like what happened to Dark Raiden and Dark Sindel? Are they dead or are they just
I
unconscious?
think
We
they
don't
come
know.
back in the Shang Tsung fight, right? In the background, you see them like, we're back. Dark Raiden comes back again, stuff like that.
That's why I'm happy that Shang Tsung actually kills people when he gets the win in his chapter. At least when he gets the chance to. He finally
Here's
starts
the thing,
killing
though.
people.
Also, when he kills Shao and Reiko, it's like very much aping Khan and Sindel's deaths.
Yeah. Dude, General Shao has
yeah.
the worst fall from grace ever. Just like lose,
Yeah.
dead. Can't even
He
come
had a
back in
good
the sequel.
build-up.
He's dead
He had
now.
like that build-up of him like shit talking and like his relationship and all that kind of stuff. I was enjoying that, but then after he lost to every time he lost, I'm like, well, congratulations, Reptile, you're the new champion of Earthrealm. Congratulations, Bihan, you're the new champion of Earthrealm. Congratulations, Sindel, you're the okay. It's like I was like, okay, new Earthrealm champion here.
Not to mention that tournament made no sense because to go from the literal daughter of Sindel, which keep in mind was supposed to be Mileena, so like the next in line to the throne, but then after them there's still General Shao. I'm like, huh? You just went down in rank. We went backwards here.
It's not about like rank. It's about how powerful they determine. Like Sindel determined Shao to be like the strongest fighter.
Because Shao's a little bitch, a little pushover.
Well, I mean,
just carries a not in gameplay though. In gameplay, he's stupid fun. He gets like 40% damage casually. Dude does damage, but.
I've heard about that, yeah. Okay, the thing about this game, this story mode is there's so many things I'm looking forward to nitpick. There's so many things where I'm like, okay, where's this character? What happened in here? What is this story plot line? What is this motive? But like, there are also just a lot of things that I enjoy about it that I think in general, it's like I still had a good time with it.
Yeah.
Despite the downfalls of it, and I think I'm gonna look so forward making the videos, like just looking for everything I can think of to talk about.
General Shao
the question is, Sonic,
a pretty easy dunk. Because he lost so much.
So I assume you're going to make a series of this.
Oh, of course, yeah.
General Shao sucks is a given, like obviously. Then we'll get like maybe like Kronika sucks as an April Fool's joke.
Oh, that's a funny one.
She's not even in the game.
That would be a funny one.
And then we'll have like a couple others like that really stand out to you as it goes on.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you'll have to do a Shang Tsung sucks to talk about his master plan. But the question is, when you do the broad, just going over the whole story, is it going to be Mortal Kombat 1 sucks or Mortal Kombat 1 doesn't suck?
That's the thing, though. I've been kind of contemplating like back and forth with. I remember I told you guys what my plan was with the Suck series this time. But it's gonna be a lot more different than what you guys expect from like the previous videos I've done. But I don't know. But I am slightly creeping up and leaning towards doesn't suck a bit more, actually, just a bit. But I do feel like I don't know if I'll change my opinions when I really analyze like. If I'll get really mad at how like bad some of the third act stuff gets to, like what is this plot? What the heck? Like I don't know if I'll get like really angry about that. If it's enough to like make me feel like everything in the beginning doesn't matter. But like I am leaning more towards it doesn't suck because I actually did like enjoy the story mode. It's actually quite interesting to think of it too. But like this is also probably the longest story mode too, huh? In the NetherRealm games.
Yeah, it's well.
In terms of chapter
It's-
numbers,
it's
it's not,
one-
but the cutscenes are so damn long that I think it is still longer.
The
Yeah, like,
Raiden
that-
chapter
like,
was literally 2 chapters straight up, or maybe longer.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So it is roughly the same length as NK9 was 16 chapters. This one is 15, but there are a few chapters here and there that get 5 fights instead of 4.
Yeah.
And the Raiden one is basically 2 chapters. So it's basically the same amount. Plus, you also have the fun little thing of I want to go through the last chapter with all these characters and see what characters say and see what cool random opponents they get to fight.
Exactly.
So it feels longer, and yeah, certainly with the cutscenes, like Johnny's introduction goes on way too long. See,
Yeah, it
the
does.
'95 movie. This is like it's a trope of the actor character is introduced doing something cool and amazing, and then it's like cut,
Yeah.
and then it's like it's a movie. It's like
It's a movie, yeah.
95 movie did the same thing. I guarantee Cage Match will do it as well. Johnny in the 95 movie is introduced, and within like a minute of him first appearing on screen, it's like, oh, it's a film thing. This goes on for like
2
before we even
fights.
get a fight. It's like it's like 4 minutes or something before we actually get a fight,
Okay.
and then we get to fight some generic dudes, and it's like it's a bit much.
Yeah.
Especially considering the actual film he's making is just Indiana Jones.
Okay.
It's like it's Indiana Jones, but if you replace Alfred Molina with Yuri Lowenthal.
That's Yuri
I
Lowenthal,
legit
yeah.
said what you said, Snake, when I was playing it. I said, okay, someone at the NetherRealm studio wants to make a different movie, but was told, no, you're writing
Yes.
another Mortal Kombat game. He's like, well, fine, I'm shoving Indiana Jones in there because I want to. And also, I don't know if y'all caught it, but the name of the vampire people that fly at him are called Kali Maz.
Yeah,
You said,
that's like-
I saw your video about that part too.
I was like, wow,
Literally
we're
the
shoving in
reference.
every reference. Yeah, Kali
So,
Maz.
You know,
I wanna mention-
You know what would have been really cool? It would have been really cool if Johnny was making a DC movie.
Yeah.
That would be. So I wanted to mention something that's like, I instantly was just like, okay, this is a movie, right? But because of how long they dragged the whole entire thing, I was thinking, oh, maybe this is how he gets Sento. Maybe that's why they're making this such a big deal. Maybe that's why it's like they're taking their time with this, and then they're explaining this is why he doesn't want to give Sento up to Kenshi. But no, they pull the rug on us, and it's like, oh, it is a film. But there is one thing I would appreciate, despite it taking way too long. I do like different characters taking movesets from like Nataro and Havoc. Like I thought that was cool that you got to fight those characters. And I want those. I want them as skins too, for sure. Yeah.
Also, it would have been really cute, a nice touch upon rewatching if they had added, like, in the background somewhere, if you look closely and squint, like one of the cameramen is like caught in frame or something from
I
a different
want to-
cameraman. That
Yeah.
would
I
have been
really
awesome.
hope they
'Cause
did
I was like,
that.
I was like, how are there camera guys everywhere? Because like there's so many different shots in the scene. I'm like,
But
these
one of the
cameramen
things
are
is,
working overtime because they're everywhere.
So,
Yeah.
so I was looking at the art for the stage on MK Warehouse, and in the background you can see a green screen.
Oh, that's
like,
awesome.
for the background.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I don't know if you can see that during gameplay or if it's just for that image.
Yeah.
Like if gameplay is like actual film set mode and what have you, I don't know, but.
Yeah, that being an entire stage is very fun. It's just like, oh, this is a stage, and it's like, but it's actually completely fake. If like after you know the Johnny chapter, so I do kind of want to see if it's possible to find little props, or if it's possible to see if there's anything that's like indicates that this is a movie set. Yeah, because you can't really tell if you just play that stage.
I feel a bit bad for people in my comments who are like, Johnny Cage finally getting done justice. He can actually fight in this game. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, later on, he does kind of become the jobber who loses a lot of stuff in the background.
Well, I mean, he's Kenshi's
well,
cameo fighter, so technically speaking.
Johnny not being able to fight is more of like a Legends issue. Like the games themselves have always kind of just been like, yeah, Johnny can fight.
Yeah.
It's
decent,
just
yeah.
he does suffer, but no more than anyone else. Everyone else has the same issue of outside of their chapter, he just lose
Yeah.
constantly.
Poor Sub-Zero got it the hardest. He lost immediately once his chapter was over. His powers deactivated. Lost the
Lost
henchman.
immediately.
Sub-Zero loses in the first 2 chapters.
Well,
Yeah.
he's holding back.
That's what I
technically
assumed.
speaking.
Not against. Well, probably not against Johnny because he's pissed at Johnny.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
I even
like
joked. I made a joke saying like, "Damn it, Liu Kang! I want to start tearing some spines out, Liu Kang." So like maybe like his art revolves around like killing.
That's the thing about Bihan, because before he turned bad, that was the only aspect I was enjoying about him, is his like these insufferable people. I'm getting so fucking annoyed. It's just like, please stop putting me in these kiddie playground situations. Like that was the thing I was enjoying about that character with.
I just thought would have been really cool now to think about it is Johnny's home has an indoor swimming pool, and Sub-Zero never freezes it, or like there's not even like as a background effect for a cutscene. It could be cool if he throws it and like threw Johnny onto it.
But like again, like I'm sure he was holding back because after you got defeated, he gets right back up. How dare you! I'm gonna freaking get you. And Luke, he's
also,
like,
real quick, can we just mention how adorable but also stupid it is that when Sub-Zero has control over the undead army, like his own section, he's having them practice like their kata. They're just like 1, 2, and I'm like, why are you trained? They're already soldiers, and I'm pretty sure they're more like automatons than they are like actual people with personalities and stuff. So like, why are you bothering with this? Does Sub-Zero just love it so much? He's like, yes, punch when I punch. And if they are separate personalities, I want one soldier to be slightly off tempo.
I've not seen his ending, so I don't know if this is actually addressed there. But I'm wondering, will him controlling these automatons inspire the Cyber Initiative?
Oh, he would do it too.
Oh,
like,
that would be very interesting. Yeah, that would.
Like,
wait, I've got a question. Have you seen the endings yet, Choda Dog?
I have not. I've only seen Mileena's.
I'm the
I
only
just wanted to
person
beat
who's
the tower.
seen the in the endings then, so I won't say anything. But I mean, that's an interesting concept. I think that would be kind of cute.
Imagine how funny it would be for the sequel when it's like, I have a plan for the people who left my clan, and like he launches an attack, and his plan is to cyberize Scorpion and Smoke, but Scorpion gets away, and he's like, we'll settle for you. And Smoke's like, I feel for some reason like this is really fucked up, but I've been here before. He's like being dragged away. Like, no.
Yeah.
Don't take away my hair.
But yeah, I mean, MK1 is just starting. We're literally, I'm sure we'll come up with more things we can talk about. We can talk about the arcade endings. We can talk about the fatalities. All the fatalities, you can already find them. We can talk about our invasion experience. There's so much we can go through. But I think this was just kind of an introduction, which I'm sure we might come up with more things to talk about the story with. What did you guys think about that after credits? Ooh, the Titan Havoc. Ooh.
See, well, for one, I think it's just kind of lame that it's this guy who was just barely a factor in the story. Here's an alternate version that we're supposed to take seriously, and he's just got and he just has like random characters like Kenshi backing him. Like,
I was like,
why?
Literally, who cares? Literally, it's like, okay, maybe if before the game came out, you were like, Chaos Realm. I'm like, ooh, now it's like, you've already shown us the multiverse shenanigans. You already have Havoc in the game. It's like, now some dude comes out and talks about Chaos Realm. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I feel like there's 3 ways it could go. One is that this is set up for the sequel, which they will probably not follow up on because, once again, they're like, Aftermath, Great Kung Lao. Kung Lao is mentioned.
Yeah, mentioned.
But he never even appears in a flashback. It's just, they give him a small role in the story, like hundreds of years after he's died. It's nothing. So if it is set up for a sequel, it's going to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Alternatively, it's set up for a story expansion.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Or the other possibility is that this is set up for another season of Invasions, which I feel is like the more appropriate place to put Evil Titan Havoc because it's such a boring, lame concept.
Yeah. Maybe that's
the only way to make it work would be if his was a universe of pure chaos. So then you get these characters who show up and they are all like anarchists now, and like it's like this character who, like, say, like Stryker, if he showed up and he was like instead of being a cop, he's an anarchist and he's like wrecking shit. For the contrast, it could be interesting, but as it currently stands, like, there's nothing about Havoc being a main villain that is interesting because they gave him such a poor showing.
Yeah.
It's like everything we like about
the lower half. That cracked me up.
yeah. It's like everything we like about Havoc is just not there. I mean, okay, in the story at least.
I remember I did note that Havoc's new face did resemble when they first showed off. Even though they resembled more the way he looks in the comic when he rips part of his fake face off. Mm-hmm. And it's like that's basically what it is now. Like he's not naturally like this weird. Chaos Realm, I guess, just doesn't exist. It really is just Order Realm
in this new universe, apparently.
And so he's a Saiyan now.
Yep.
And so he's just like a normal human, and then he gets his face melted off.
Do you guys want to hear like the? Okay, we're making fun of this is base, not Titan Havoc. We're just making fun of the what do you call it, base Havoc or something like that, base universe Havoc. You guys want to hear like the worst thing about this version of Havoc? I don't know if you guys heard it or not because it was in an intro dialogue.
Oh, okay. I noticed it like
Oh,
during
God.
gameplay. I don't think he even does like any moves that damage himself in story mode because it wouldn't make sense. We never saw like why he has that power.
They never explain that. They never explain that. I'm assuming you
Yeah.
can know in the intro dialogues, or I think people say
Well,
it's from
that's-
Quan Chi. It is Quan Chi gave him that ability. I think that's what's implied.
Okay, because that's so
But I'm gonna
confusing. Because otherwise, I would have to assume that we play as story mode ending Havoc, but he just looks different because he would actually have the powers and stuff because he's from actual Chaos Realm. But he looks like, you know, story mode Havoc during the
Regular
middle, and then
Joe.
also I'm sure that his intro dialogues are the new Havoc, so it's very confusing. But go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm sure it's burnt Havoc so it's the base
Yeah.
Havoc in the intro dialogues. But I forgot who says this in the intro dialogue, but it's just straight up someone just says it's like he's Dairu.
Oh,
And he says that's my old name.
I kind of thought that might happen because he's from Order Realm. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like,
But why?
oh,
Dairo's so cool. Oh wait, no, Dairo. Yeah.
No, the Dairo was the guy who shows up for
Yeah.
Snowblind for 1 second. Not Darius or
Dairo's
Hotaru.
still pretty cool though,
See-
gameplay wise. Just his outfit's kind of lame, but Dairo gameplay wise is always funny as fuck.
It's such a like throwaway line in an intro. To be fair, intro dialogues, who knows if it's canon or not, but it does seem pretty like plausible. Just like
Damn.
that was my old name I've already abandoned. Someone I forgot who has an intro dialogue like that, but
It's just so weird because like you have to remember this isn't just Liu Kang reset the reality and things just happened to turn out this way. He did this. He made Dairu into Havoc. He made Kuai Liang into Scorpion. Why did he do any of this?
this is too hard to answer honestly.
Yeah.
Guys just playing with sand.
This is why I thought it would have been really cool if the arcade endings were Liu Kang explaining his thought process on why the character's this way. So
Yeah.
like, I made Kuai Liang into Scorpion for this reason. You know, it's something like Hanzo's always got a tragic life. I separated him from all this. He gets to live his happy life in like 1600s. He's fine. But there needs to be a Scorpion, and Kuai Liang, well, I don't want Bihan turned into Noob Saibot, so I turned Kuai Liang into Scorpion, and I want to have him be there to help keep Bihan on the straight and narrow. And it's like you're just laying out why is Mileena Katana's sister now? Why is she the older sister?
Yep.
Well, Katana's expressed that she didn't want to rule, so I've made Mileena the older sister so she can do it instead. Plus, Mileena has those ambitions, as we've seen in past timelines. And it's like just laying out why he would do this with each of these characters. Because as it currently stands, it's like, why is he merging people?
Okay.
See, why would you turn Hanzo and Kuai Liang into the same guy instead of having two protectors for Earthrealm?
I may have made this joke before, but in case I didn't, I'll reiterate. I always thought it was like there's a scale, kind of like a abacus in front of Liu Kang, and he's like, okay, I want Shang Tsung to not be evil. Bing, and somebody else slides over, and it goes like, okay, now Kuai Liang is Scorpion. What? Why
Okay,
does that
sure.
cause that? I'll take it. Okay, this is what has to happen. Okay, slide this over. Wait, now you're telling me that Havoc is also. Why would moving Garrus over here do that? Okay, the universe has a weird way of balancing itself out. It's like moving the abacus around.
That's the thing,
and that's
though.
like why it's happening.
We
Shao
don't
Kahn
know.
is not the ruler. Wait, why the hell did that make Mileena and Katana sisters? I'll take it.
Okay.
This is cause and
That's a
effect.
really funny way of looking at it. I have to assume that like maybe it's possible that Liu Kang did do like okay, I'm gonna make you do this, I'm gonna make you do that, but we don't entirely know. The only thing that is confidential, like is definitely confirmed, is he made Shang Tsung and Quan Chi have miserable lives. And that's the only thing that he was like, okay, I'm gonna lead these two people into becoming losers. Like they confirmed that. It's like they're supposed to have miserable lives. What the heck? Why are they sorcerers again? Which is really funny. I see comments of people being like, "Why is Liu Kang so rude? Why make him miserable?" It's like that's such a rude thing to do, Liu Kang. I'm just like,
Yeah.
are you really gonna defend those two guys?
Well, my
I don't know.
bigger complaint wasn't that. My complaint was to keep your enemies closer. Like if Liu Kang wanted to make sure
Yeah,
Shang
I
Tsung
remember
never
that.
got up to no good, then just make him like your secretary, so you always have eyes on him. That way he can never
Technically
do
speaking,
anything.
it was working out for him anyways. It was like because if the Titan Shang never showed up, base Shang and Quan Chi would have been
there's also an
losers
intro
forever.
dialogue. There's a clever intro dialogue that fixes that problem too, where Liu Kang and Shang and he goes, "I can't stand the life that you, the horrible life that you stuck me in." He said, "I was trying to reform you, not like doom you or something like that." So he's hoping that
Ah.
like Shang Tsung would rise above due to that. Like he'd just have a regular manual labor job and like become a regular normal blue-collar folk, I guess, was the idea. And it didn't work out at all. Apparently Shang Tsung can't stand blue-collar jobs.
Yeah, that's right. He's too lazy for hard labor. I love that in the bio. Too lazy.
It's weird when you think about it, because keep in mind, when Sindel's been having everything explained to her, they acknowledge, yeah, Sindel was evil in that timeline. They don't specify it was just that timeline or that she used to be good, which somewhat implies that she was always evil. Like, that's what they're going for. But that means that Liu Kang did genuinely completely reform Sindel successfully in his timeline. Yeah. Like, what did he change to make? Because he didn't give her a different husband. Did he make Jared more of a badass? Was that it? And then she's like, oh.
I mean, like you pointed out before,
is that what
MK9 Sindel was different, so none of it makes sense. Even MK9 to MK11
the 3D
doesn't
era
make sense.
Sindel.
So, oh yeah, can I say one thing
good.
real quick, because I missed my chance because we moved on too fast.
No.
But
let's go. Yeah.
You say no?
No, I meant like 3D era Sindel was an evil too. That's what I said.
Yeah. So I was gonna say that.
Yeah, but the way the game is treating it, the game could be still trying to pretend that she always was.
Yeah. Which would mean that Liu Kang did that.
It's dumb at times.
I also had a dumb thought because of how my brain works. But if there is a realm where Johnny Cage was timekeeper and got to remake reality, imagine like they travel there and just everyone's super attractive. Because that's Johnny Cage's design. Like, all the men and women are just gorgeous, like Hollywood level celebrity pretty.
Everyone's
like,
wearing sunglasses indoors and stuff.
Yeah. That'd be pretty funny.
Women just naturally have makeup on at all hours of the day.
And naturally they'd all have like bigger cup sizes too, I'm sure. But I wanted to go back to
there are some. There are some people.
There's a question.
But it's Johnny Cage's mind, though. Johnny Cage would like that. He'd love the whole buxom, voluptuous.
Okay. And another detail is that all the women also have in Johnny's timeline have open-toed shoes, and it's his fault. He's the one who did it.
Here's a fun fact,
Johnny.
Here's a fun fact, by the way. In the pyramid,
Ermac and Shang Tsung have it too. Like, there are so many characters in this game who have this. I don't understand what is going on.
In the pyramid, in that whole entire ending section, the gender-bent ninjas don't have them.
Oh.
Female Scorpion doesn't have it. Female Ermac, female Sub-Zero, they don't have it.
Interesting.
Don't have what?
Open-toe shoes.
Why are you clapping? That's a horrible downgrade. Why are you clapping? That's a horrible thing.
It's because they use Frost model as the basis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Frost doesn't have it, so good job, Frost.
Yeah.
I wanted to share
your
one thing. I'll regret it if I don't.
So Frost saved the multiverse.
She could. I mean, why not?
From the scourge of the open-toe shoes.
Do that in the next game, NetherRealm.
Why do we always bring this back up?
NetherRealm, you saw how positively everybody responded to Baraka being good and getting his own chapter, Reptile being good, getting his own chapter. If you make Frost good and give her own chapter, people will love you for it. But yeah, one thing I wanted to mention. For the Havoc reveal, twist ending, mid-credits, whatever, there's two things they could have changed that would have made me actually love it. Change number one. They all look very obviously like their 3D era counterparts. So Havoc is like a one-to-one 3D era. Have like Serena with him on one side, and then someone else from the 3D era on his other side.
Demon Ashrah, why not?
Yes, Ashrah too.
Okay,
but like heavily, obviously 3D era versions, right? That's change number one. Change number two, we have to really sell right now that he's chaos. He's like unpredictable. You can't. He's like Joker level nonsense, right? So have him hover the mace over Jax's head, but instead of dropping it and crushing him, he goes ha ha and just takes off one of his own minions' heads behind him and just laughs and then walks away or something because he's unpredictable. You can't know what the fuck he's gonna do. Like that would be awesome. And then like have him laugh at the screen all evil, like ha ha ha, breaks his own neck or some shit, and then it goes to credits. I don't know. But do something random, because to me at the end he just felt like generic villain, whereas Havoc is supposed to be unpredictable. So that would have been awesome if like he just killed a henchman for no reason or something, or he picks up Jax's arm and goes, yeah, you can't get it. I don't know, something stupid.
Yeah. That's just the aspect that was really missing from Havoc's character that people really, really wanted to see from him, unfortunately. And hopefully they do that. I mean, they could still do that if this is a story expansion that they're doing with him.
I kind of did expect Havoc to be a henchman, but I didn't think he'd be that much of a henchman character where he does like literally nothing.
Oh, really?
Like, almost no
I felt like Havoc
either.
and Atara were too much of a jobber vibes to get anything else.
If they do make a story expansion, I hope that Natara and Havoc will get some actual focus just to actually explore what the situation with the realms is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we'll have a bit of a better idea of where things are going once we've seen all the endings. Because again, Dominic Chancholo said that this is like all world building set up for future games.
You need to look at the endings because straight up which one arcade did you say you got already, Snake?
I've got Mileena's, Scorpion's, Sindels and Khans and Katanas.
Yeah, because don't you think they straight up just seem like an aftermath of what happened in the story?
Yeah, it's a lot like NK versus DCU, where like a lot of the endings, where the endings were basically that.
You two need to go through all the arcade modes because it is basically an aftermath of like what's going to happen next and that kind of.
I kind of like it when the story modes feel like they could all be true. That way you can move into the next game.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, and also the Well, okay, shoot. Could you repeat what? Okay, this isn't too big of a spoiler, but there are a lot of arcade endings that connect with each other. Like, you'll be like, oh, this straight up is the exact same scene as this other person's arcade ending. So it's like, this is what this person's doing, this is what this person's doing, stuff like that.
MKX did that too, where like,
MKX implied
four were about Raiden going to declare Mortal Kombat against Coulson and stuff.
Or it's like Tekken Tag 2, where like all the girl characters have like the same theme park experience together.
I've actually seen two that connect, which is that Shao's leads into Katanas.
Does it? Sorry,
his sets up what happens in her. It's not like it's not a direct lead in. It's just that like the stuff that happens in his lays the foundation for hers to happen.
Okay, well I will say this is not too big of a spoiler, but it's obvious. Literally, Reiko has the exact same screenshot of Shao and Reiko standing in his too. Those are very connected.
That makes sense. Yeah. Reiko's just a Shao.
Oh, holy shit! We didn't talk about Reiko one time in this. Oh, we did. Sorry, the Reiko design in the evil version.
Which is funny because like if you think about this, like old Reiko, he was like, I look up to Shao Kahn. He's an absolute badass. He conquered all these realms. It's like fair enough. Now it's like I look up to General Shao, and it's like he literally never wins a fight. He's constantly pussing out against everybody. You have the worst role model in history, Reiko. You are more pathetic than he is.
To be fair, though, Reiko also just loses constantly, too. So when Reiko
he
lost
doesn't
in
lose
the
as
tournament,
much as Shao, though.
I was thinking, like, Shao, aren't you going to, like, scold him or give him any threats? It's like, how dare you lose my tournament and stuff like no, he's just chill with him throughout the entire thing.
Shao keeps Reiko around. Because that way, Reiko's the only one who's not aware of how much Shao sucks. He still thinks that Shao's cool, no matter how many L's he takes, and that's why he keeps Reiko around. I will say, for me, Reiko...
I love the idea of like Shao retreats after a loss, and Reiko's like, "You didn't win, and he runs off after Shao.
Flashes gang signs as he runs away. Yeah, that's totally something Reiko would do. I will say that I don't... that really got Snake. That really made him laugh. To me, in my mind, the way Reiko behaves is like almost the opposite of how I pictured him in the old games, where he's like very proper, like arms behind the back like this, and like chest up, 1,000-yard stare. Whereas in the new game, when he first gets introduced as like the champion of of General Shao, he's like all lumbering over, looking all menacing, and he's like, I'm a badass, man. I've been in so many fucking wars. Shit, man, I'm fucking crazy. And I'm like,
his intro is like just pulling up some sand and putting it on his hand. Getting ready to fight.
they may have drawn a bit too much of the 2021 version, unfortunately.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact. You want a better Reiko, legit, in my opinion, it's just Li Mei.
I had to think about it.
Li Mei is straight up just the better Reiko in the story mode, and even like in terms of like interesting gameplay stuff.
Oh, she has this role too. You're right.
Yeah,
like, if
you just said that.
Roles,
she
it
does
made
this.
More sense.
She does this in her like posings too.
But Reiko also would have been the guardian of like Gerard and fucked up, and then Gerard got killed. That would have made like perfect sense. Damn, that is kind of funny.
Just Li Mei is the better Reiko, technically speaking.
That's the thing. Like, imagine that as like this setup is like Reiko was he was like the lead. He like had this role, and like he and on his watch, unfortunately, Jared was killed, and then it's like lead up to Shao's the one who killed Jared, and like Reiko was working for him the whole time, and he's like Reiko, when you're on guard, I'm gonna kill Jared, and he's like, okay, I'll take that hit for you. I'll take the disgrace.
That's kind of interesting.
And so now he's like a high-ranking dude in Shao's forces after this failure, when in reality he did exactly what Shao wanted him to.
Hey, there's still time, because we don't know who actually killed Gerard, so it could be like Reiko.
So all I'm gonna say right now is that you guys really need to go check out the arcade endings, and at the same time, in the past like about hour we were chatting. Some of you guys just straight up just say what happens in the arcade ending. That's all. You guys straight up say what happens in it. I'm not gonna say what you got right, but You'll just have to find out yourself.
That means the writers are
You're just too
improving.
smart. That's the problem.
You guys literally, I don't know if you saw my reaction to some of the things you said. It's like blah blah blah, like she does this. I'm like, oh yeah, that's an interesting theory. Wow, it's like straight up. You just, I think you got like 2 or 3 things right already. But yeah, have fun going through the arcade modes. I think they're pretty cool because you get to see like an aftermath, like a situation. It is kind of interesting.
I'll do that right after this then. Is that our last topic, or is there anything else somebody wants to talk about?
I think we're pretty Gucci. I think we can end it soon. We can find
Did you just
ending.
steal my fucking line, you piece of shit?
Next time.
What?
I'm the one that says we're Gucci.
I said Gucci like 3 or 4 times this podcast already. No, not like this.
You're under arrest.
You've lost
joke theft.
Yeah.
For what? A joke theft? Okay.
You can't steal jokes
Overruled.
unless your name is Amy Schumer or Carlos Mencia. Then you can steal jokes, but otherwise you can't.
You can steal catchphrases, so you can go, oh,
Yeah.
you can't steal jokes.
Snake, take his penis away. He's lost his
Take his
penis privileges.
Penis privileges. Yeah, penis privileges.
Take
Unfortunately.
it away. Spread them.
Spread them. Sindel fatal blow. Well, I'm looking forward to the next episode where we discuss who Reptile gets shipped next. How many ships does he have now? Goodness gracious.
Like 4.
Sorry, we didn't end the episode. Like that. Why am I contemplating that? Alright, I'm gonna stop the recording.
You just do this and like play that like mystery dun 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 dun. Like the little images float around your head and like they're slightly transparent.
Yeah. I should commission an artwork of all the